He's a jitterbug. He's a jitterbug. He's a jitterbug. He's a jitterbug.
He's got the boom boom inside his heart. When the puck gets dropped, yeah, his engine starts. Hockey IQ inside his brain. He loves the nudes, cause they think the same. But something's bugging you, he's got no size. That's okay, he's got that look in his eyes. He's just streaking down the ice. Fans are shrieking cause they wanted him to score twice. Another goal for Yamamoto. He's got the goalies all saying, oh no. Another goal for Yamamoto. You don't want to miss it when he plays with Dry. Another goal for Yamamoto. He'll get help, but he'll just do it solo. Another goal for Yamamoto. He looked great last night when he's with New Gen Dry.
6:01 on the Nielson show. Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric with you. Maddie, you could cook up my phones. Tommy was in this spot yesterday, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nielson show. We're in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studios today. LTE, how you doing, my man?
Good. Yeah. Please, we need an update.
Thanks for filling in and everything yesterday.
Two guys and a goalie. Dustin plays father.
I saw the title.
Not that you don't every day, but you were thrust into duty.
I had to go into emergency mode, literally, yesterday. Yeah, it was. For years we've gone to the Stollery and done, when we were at the radio station, we used to go down there and do it. And you're always, I'd always sit there and go, it's an extremely important place to have if you have children, but I'd never had, to actually go use it. But yesterday we did the Muzz, and it wasn't like she fell off the monkey bars or something. She was running back to get in line after recess, and another kid sort of bumped into her. They were running to their line and knocked her down onto the pavement, and she broke one of her bones right about here. And, it was, the Stollery's phenomenal.
Knocked her down.
It just knocked her down. Like, she didn't even fall. Like, she's fallen way worse 1,000 times. She just kind of got knocked down and must have just landed on her arm the wrong way. So, anyway, I'm going to go by the school today and question every single kid until I find out who it was.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let Marshall beat the hell out of him.
He's ready to go.
But no, the Stollery was absolutely phenomenal yesterday, our first time through it. And it was a little eye-opening as a parent, man.
And you went through, you didn't just, it wasn't, again, a scrape on the,
No, it was full-blown, we had the x-rays. You could see her bone here that connects into the hand was 30% off. So, I thought maybe, they do the x-ray and be like, oh, we can just cast it and it'll heal back. But it was actually, broken to the point where it was kind of moved over like that. So they're like, okay, we got to put her out. And, when they said they got to put her out, Tammy and I were both like, okay, wait a second. What's going on here? You have to put her out?
Yeah.
So I don't know if, I don't know how many other parents have, and it probably happened with a lot of parents. The lady at the Stollery said they already had dealt with 4 broken arms from schools yesterday morning by the time we got there.
I bet this is
we got there at 11.
Yeah. They all roll up in their sleeves this time of year.
It's broken arm season. Yeah. But they say they're going to put her out. So they have a whole team.
Marshall gets put out. He totally passes out.
Yeah, exactly. They said they're going to put her out. Marshall passes out right on the floor. Marshall was at school. A quick story on Marshall. Man, what a kid this guy is. So anyway, we if you've seen your child get put out before, it's one of the creepiest things ever because they give us the details on, she gets this drug and then this one. And I was just like, okay, whatever you guys need to do, you do it every day. She has trust in these people. So then they give Elizabeth the drugs and she's sitting there in the bed and she goes, oh, it's getting dizzy. And then she's just back like this with her eyes open. And they're like, she's out. She's asleep. But her eyes are open like this. I was just like, oh, my God. So they lay her down and she's just laying there with her eyes open like this. And they're like, you guys can leave if you want. So Tammy and I went outside. We were outside for 6 minutes. And they come and get us. They're like, it's done. We got it. It was a good pop back into place. Everything's going to be good. She's already cast it up. So then they didn't, they told us, she's going to be a little drowsy. She's going to be, but she's having hallucinations coming in and out of when she's the drugs are kind of working their way out of her system. So we're sitting there watching her eyes are twitching around. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? And then she would look at Tammy and she'd go, are you the real mummy? And then she'd look at me and she'd go, are you the real daddy? And I said, yes. And then she just go like this, boom, back out again. I was like, what? And then the lady's like, no, this is normal. Like, this is how it
You are the
works.
real daddy.
Yeah, exactly. I looked at Tam. I was like, what's going on here?
Why the real daddy?
I'm not the real daddy. And then for a couple of times she woke up. She said, are you the real mommy? Are you the real daddy? And then she looked at her cast, and it was all white still. They hadn't unwrapped it. She looks at her cast, and she goes, I wanted pink. And then she passed back out. So she did the same thing like 3 times in a row. And then she woke up a bunch of times, and she's like, I'm seeing 2 of you. I was just like, okay, lay back down. Like, go back to sleep. So finally, it kind of kicked back in, and she was normal again. But super, super scary yesterday. But, I also thought that we could be at the Stollery for a hell of a lot worse than a broken arm.
Yeah,
right?
it's
so, yeah, I mean, for a guy who finally has a chance to say, hey, we've had an opportunity to utilize the Stollery, every chance you have to support the Stollery, support the Stollery.
and never a good reason to go there, obviously.
No,
but
you never
know
want
what
to
I
be
mean.
there.
It's nice that you kind of got in and got the service there and got it all done and everything
Yeah,
went
well,
good.
they deal with
now
kids.
you can-
Nothing against other doctors, but doctors and nurses who deal with kids, they're pretty special. And it was a great team down there as well. So the Stollery was absolutely fantastic yesterday. The Muzz, she can't wait to come in here and have you sign her cast.
Oh, we're gonna get
She's
that.
very excited for that. So
I can't wait.
yeah, I told it. So then Marshall rolls in. So Marshall gets in from a friend drives him to the hospital from school. He gets out of the car, breaks down to me. Like Marshall's he's like me. He's a very emotional
I
dude.
like how the car pulls up in front of the thing. He gets out of the back seat type of thing.
Yeah, he was right in the back. He gets out, grabs his suitcase, his backpack, puts it on. He goes, Daddy, how's she doing? And he just starts bawling. So I take him into the hospital room, and he was so nervous, right? Because like she had her IV in still. She had like the monitoring stuff on, and he sees the cast on her arm. So he comes walking up alongside the bed, and he sees all the things kind of attached to her, and he goes, "Oh, so what's going on here?" And we're telling her like, and then so he goes, "Oh, what's going on here?" And then he looks at her and he goes, "I love you, Muzz," and he just starts bawling again. So the doctors come back in to like check on her, and she's chilling there in her bed, cast on, like she's tough. And Marshall's sitting with me, and I'm like rubbing his back because he's having a full-blown meltdown.
Put him in the bed next to her. Yeah, that type of thing.
Like
You gotta
he just
monitor him.
He's just absolutely, oh man, it was what a day. And then on top of it, I think I'm getting swindled. Nothing to do with the Stollery, but I think I'm getting swindled. I'm going to have to run this by you guys
You
here at
personally,
625
or like
today.
the whole umbrella conglomerate here? Like,
No, we're not getting swindled. Hey, surprise, guys. We're getting swindled.
starting to sweat here.
Coolbet's not even a real
Burying
website.
the lead, yeah.
No, we're not getting swindled, but I feel like I'm getting swindled. So I'm going to run this by you guys today.
I noticed you still have your vehicle outside.
Yes, I do. As I said, I
Okay.
feel like I'm getting swindled.
All right. Well,
So we'll get to that as we work our way through the show as well. We are sitting here this morning in the Popeyes Louisiana kitchen studios. They got the sweet and spicy wings, crispy breaded wings, spicy ghost pepper seasoning, tossed with a sweet chili sauce. Tommy and I are going to dive into some of these on the oil stream, and we'll give you a breakdown of exactly just how hot they are. So we'll get into that as we work our way through the show today. Your text messages anytime, 780-218-9999. I think I saw Menopause Nick in there at like 5:10 this morning. He was looking for a conch for his wife on her 25th birthday. Enjoy your birthday,
the big 2-5.
Mrs. Menopause Nick.
Sounds like a Mr. Mike's night.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean,
Come on, Nick. Get off the wallet. Maybe play kind of easy trivia today, and you can hook yourself up.
Need to bring that saying back a
think
lot
it's-
more. Get off the wall.
Yeah, you think so? I do like that.
It's not too offensive or anything, but it's
It's just
a hell of a challenge.
A lot of
yeah,
people
like,
sitting on the wallet.
Get off
right?
the wallet.
All right, the text line brought to you by Paris Jewelers. Get off the wallet and go to Paris Jewelers and get your special somebody a little something.
A Boba Fett
The
pendant. Or
Boba Fett pendant. Yeah, they got one on sale
believe
there
that
right now.
existed, to
So,
be honest.
yeah, Paris Jewelers, Canadian, family-owned, with 23 locations across Canada, plus flexible financing options. I really want somebody to go in there and put a Grogu pendant on layaway. Like, yeah, I want to do this in 12-month payments. really save up to get that Grogu buzz, right? That would be
Get off the
that'd
wallet.
be real nice. They got some Star Wars pendants over there at Paris Jewelers. Text of the day, of course, will win gift certificate to A&W, $20 gift card. You can go pick up. This is one of those $2 lattes. And you got the $1 coffee going on.
$1 coffee, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Delicious. $1.05.
Latte biz.
You can't stop.
Have you seen
I'm not
Kicking
even-
and Screaming? No, you probably haven't
Kicking
seen it.
and Screaming?
Matty,
No,
you
is
haven't
it a
seen Kicking
movie?
and Screaming, eh? No chance.
Show?
Yeah, it was with Will Ferrell, and he's like a minor soccer coach. But he tries he tries coffee for like the first time and then becomes like coffee madman. Like,
I don't know.
It's pretty good.
It doesn't even look abnormal to me anymore. Which is that's the weird thing. Like this just looks. You're a latte guy now.
You're telling me.
Okay.
You're telling me. It's a strange. But you know, if you're going to become latte guy, I think the fall is the best time to do it.
Yeah, you picked a good time.
Don't you think
time
so?
Of season,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like that is. Anyway, $1 coffees, $2 lattes, just up until the end of the month with A&W. So make sure you swing by and pick those up. We will have Greg Wishinski today, just after 7 o'clock this morning for Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for Metal. We'll go there just after 7 o'clock. Free advice for Damon Bunting. And we started he's got a nice little area downtown now where the slumlord training is happening in a building. It's like a slumlord university.
Rigorous training.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 6
Slumlord
in the morning
University.
till 8 at night. And plus jumping jacks. And,
There's a class on scamming people. There's a class on wardrobe. Like there's a bunch of
and
different
diet.
things.
You need to be
diet
like
for
you need
sure.
to take care of body and mind.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're
So free advice, 7:25 today. What do you need help with? Hit us up in the nasty chat. You can dive into the inbox as well. Macramala's on today. Macramala's new day is going to be Wednesdays at 7:45. So if you have Macramala intros, today is the day, not Friday. Today, Wednesday is the day for Macramalla here with the new show. So we'll chat a little bit with him. We'll talk about the Taylor Swift NFL bump with Macramalla. Have you seen the numbers
even
on
the
this?
Kelsey bumped, like his jersey sales, his
Well,
followers.
that's the thing.
he's
Like Taylor's. I didn't think anything was bigger than the National Football League, but by all accounts, Taylor Swift is, which is amazing. It's absolutely incredible.
She's
But
no Carrie Underwood.
You saw some of the. Oh yeah, Carrie Underwood. Did you see somebody else say that? Who was it tweeted out? Maybe it was like an Argos fan account or something. But said the CFL is booking like one of the best live bands ever for Grey Cup.
Well, and that's
But I don't know what that
again,
means.
Coming off the heels of that Friday show announcement for Hamilton and Grey Cup weekend with Carrie Underwood, right? Like we are all our jaws. It didn't drop to the floor, I guess, but you were like,
I
you made
mean,
a sound.
she's one of my favorite of
yeah.
all time. So yeah,
what,
I was pretty
halftime,
excited
I mean-
about. So where do you go? Where do you go from there?
Rolling
So,
Stones, like
Yeah.
dream big, right?
Macramalla, he's going to pop by at 7:45. We'll have kind of easy trivia, 3 questions too many. Dave Naylor will be our big guest of the day for Pro-Am Sports. And we'll talk about a couple of things with Naylor. He was talking about how this Argos situation just goes to say maybe you put everybody into one division, right? And then the Argos and the Lions,
Or
and
just
it's still fighting for things.
Grey Cup rematch on a little earlier in the season.
Yeah,
Like,
a little bit earlier in the season,
these
so
two
you
teams
get
too,
that
just,
game.
yeah.
We were talking about CFL Fantasy earlier in the week. Kevin, who I'm going up against in the final,
Yes.
guess who his quarterback is?
Well, Chad Kelly resides on Iwanic squad, so if he would have made the final,
So he would have made the finals.
He would be a
He'd
little
be in the
dicey as
same
well. And-
same fate.
And we kind of heard it with Ouellette rested now, so the Argos kind of resting guys, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the playoffs, one by one type of thing heading into the postseason. I don't know. From a fan's point of view, you jealously want to see it, but you totally understand it.
Yeah, you understand it. I mean, you would have liked to have both these teams going head to
Absolutely.
head, full power. You kind of get it. I mean,
I'd probably do the same thing if I was.
but if you're going to sit him here, just sit him the rest of the season then. Like you're going to play him later on in the season,
that's
and he
what
gets
I'm
hurt,
saying.
then you're like, well, why'd you sit him against
Well,
Winnipeg?
that sits last week. He'll play. Kelly plays last week, sits this week. So
you're taking some reps off of him. But the whole reason to rest these guys is so they avoid injury. So if you're resting them 1 week, I guess it's less opportunity to get injured. But when you're rolling them back out there again, congratulations, you rested Ouellette last week. What if he gets hurt this week? It's kind of a tough spot to be in.
All their
It's
bye
not
weeks,
all
too.
about injury. It's some of it's just rest.
Their bye
They
weeks
have
all
no more.
came
They've used all their bye
3
weeks.
and
They have
4
no
or
more
something.
bye weeks the rest of the way. So now the team is
just
giving
straight up
various
individual player bye
players various
But not
bye
all of
weeks.
them at once.
Yes.
to kind of stagger it, I
So
guess.
Chad Kelly will get 2 bye weeks in the final 6 weeks of the season for the Argos.
Bit of a reward for finishing, or being 12
Do you think
and 1
this
at this
hurts
point.
them or helps them? Like if they don't roll out their entire full roster again until the East final, Does that hurt them or help them?
We don't play scared, and this is kind of not playing scared, but you are playing cautious to a degree.
Yeah.
So I'd be there is a little worry there. Like
maybe there's and maybe it's football, so it's different. But to me, if you're not playing with that full roster until the East final, I don't know. Does it mess with the routine of a bunch of guys, or it's you're going to be going to 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks without your full roster together? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's a tough call.
Well, you get the band back together week 20 there, or whatever.
And
it
then
is,
3 guys get
21.
hurt, and you're like, damn.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
So
it's an interesting way of going about things, but the decisions you make at 12-1, I guess, leading your division.
Big Maple on the Nasty Chat today. If you're watching, hit us up in that Nasty Chat. It says, just wait until this sale ends and Dusty thinks he'll quit cold turkey. He'll be on the IR for withdrawal migraines. Quitting caffeine almost ruined me one time. Well, that's why I got back on the schneid.
You didn't just casually go into. You had to go to. Don't look at me like that. You shake your.
You think drinking lattes are good for you? Check this out. This is my new water jug.
Look at that thing.
Look at this thing. 2 liters of H2O.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
Hey, you got the measurements on the side too. You can count them down.
Oh yeah. I'm a big water boy.
Okay, water boy. You had to drive some distance to get your fix, so you were ready to go to Sherwood Park.
Yeah, a couple places I went today didn't have the
goods, didn't have the stuff.
Extremely. As always, A&W comes through, man.
Yeah,
every single time. Brett is asking, can we get a YouTube Trev update? YouTube Trev texted me last night. What did he say? We've got
hour.
We've got a Alley Cat meeting. We're going down for our testing, our logger testing today at Alley Cat. And YouTube Trev apparently is good to go. What did he say here? Oh, there's that text from Kevin freaking out about Chad Kelly not playing this week. Feeling way better, bro. Sorry again, man. So I think that means he's in.
That lingo suggests.
I think that means he's in. Yeah. But once again, let's remember to ourselves, the 3 of us, keep him away from Tommy. Like, the last thing we need is to go to Alley Cat today and Tommy to be like, hey, Trev, you want to go to Kelly's?
Yeah, keep him on the opposite side of the room at all times.
Stay away from this man. Stay away from him. So, it looks like YouTube Trev is going to be back on the scene today. Tubesuck says, that's like 2 weeks worth of water for me. That's usually 2 weeks worth of water for me too. But I'm trying to drink more.
What's the plan here? By the end of the show or by the end of this is a day thing? Like, you're going to go to this
my
day.
plan would be,
we get to Alley Cat, you're looking at what, a liter, half a liter left? Or
no. My plan would be this is done every day by the time I walk out the door.
Nope.
Right? So I get thirsty. You do lock shop, oil stream, 2 guys go. So that would be the plan. 2 liters of water in the first 7-8 hours of the day.
I can't wait to see how this goes.
Seems pretty, like, that's a reasonable goal.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable goal.
The big question is, are you going to remember it and take it home and fill it again for tomorrow?
No chance.
That's
I'll leave it here
one
somewhere.
And done,
Tommy will freak out.
And he'll take Trev to
we'll
Kelly's.
see how that plays out.
Yeah. Big man boom there at Kelly's again.
To take Trev to Kelly's. Okay, so like I said, we're with Macramalla when he pops on. I want to talk about this Travis Kelsey, Taylor Swift thing, the bump here. Although I already saw one of Travis Kelsey's exes online. You see her saying, careful, he's a cheater. Now, like, maybe Taylor Swift is just here for the most epic breakup album of all time. I mean, imagine the sales that thing would do.
Well, it's all a ruse.
3 songs about Travis Kelsey.
It's all a project in front of our eyes, real time, right?
This is what has happened since Sunday's Chiefs-Bears game. Remember,
the timeline is extensive here.
This is a Bears game. Like,
well,
400% spike in Travis Kelsey jersey sales. This would not be dudes going, hey, I'm going to buy a Travis Kelsey jersey because he's with Taylor Swift. This would be the Swifties.
I'd hope not.
Right?
Maybe.
The Swifties, I think, are probably on this. So a 400% spike in Travis Kelsey jersey sales. Kelsey's podcast ranks number 1 overall on Apple. No big deal. Kelsey adds almost 400,000 Instagram followers. 24 million people watched the game. It was the number 1 game of the week. 63% jump in female viewers. 18 to 49%. The Chiefs searches on the web increased 3 times. Chiefs sales on StubHub increased 3 times. How are, ticket sales are going through the roof just so you can point up to the mom's suite and see that Taylor Swift is there? That's like all this kind of makes sense to me. Like the Chiefs sold more tickets in a single day since the start of the season than any other start of the season. Taylor Swift has like unbelievable power.
I guess my question is, who needs who more?
Well, the NFL needs Taylor Swift now. Like they got to sit down with Kelsey and be like, "Hey, man, you got to at least make this search."
You don't think Travis Kelsey is helping a fledgling music career or something like that? I mean, again, if this is all material, if she's using this whole thing for material and creating an album or something,
who's
maybe
the guy? Oh, Barry? Is it Barry?
Yeah.
He had a.
He's taking the total opposite angle of this whole thing, and I'm loving it.
He had the one.
There's always two sides.
Yeah, here it is. This is what I saw yesterday. Barry on here. Taylor Swift was a nobody before she latched on to Travis Kelsey. She's using the future Hall of Famer to save her failing music career. Honestly, sad to see Kelsey fall for it.
I'm sure if you asked your buddy Huss, maybe he'd share the same opinion.
Huss
right?
Huss kind of laid it out already. Yeah, no, that's a good take on it, though. I do like that. All right, so your thoughts on this entire situation. Hit us up, 780-218-9999. We see your Macramalla intros rolling in. We will get to a few of those. CB radio guy. Dusty, add a little lemon to that water. Been doing it for years. I can't drink enough.
Like a very little lemon.
That's the last thing I need. Lemon water.
A couple drips.
I can't get addicted to anything else. There's no more room for addictions, you know? My addiction card is fully booked up.
I think water's okay to be addicted to.
Yeah, but with lemon in it?
Lemon.
Yeah, it's very healthy. It is a very healthy fruit.
Like adding lemon to the water is even healthier?
Well, you're adding just the fruit, like
the citrus.
There is the acid, though.
The vitamin C.
Yeah, so I guess
They
it's
said
maybe not
straw.
Maybe it's not as healthy as water, but just plain. But there is added benefits from the lemon in the water.
You boys ever cut up a cucumber and put it in there?
I've stayed at hotels that have the cucumber water.
That's not bad.
I'll say
That's not bad.
Fruits in it is
Shit,
good.
it's gotta be
There's
cold.
strawberry
Very cold.
water. Lemon water is like the water.
That's a good one. I'll take a cucumber. Water. Look at that. That's good. Eh? A little bit of ice in there too, or is that
no
room temp?
ice?
Room temp?
Just nope,
Yep.
nope. From the fridge.
Okay.
Filled it
That's-
last night.
That's nice.
Put it in the fridge, just like I'm back living on the farm again. You know,
You better
Big
hope
bottle
that
of-
no one else needs that bathroom today. You know, because we only got the one.
because I'm going to be pissing
Just
like
get a
crazy.
long hose and run it through the wall.
All right, let's get to a sports update. When we come back, am I getting swindled? Find out. It's an all-time ruse, you know?
Yeah.
We'll get into that as we work our way through the 6 o'clock hour.
Austin Wells with a 2-run homer in the ninth, powering the Yankees over the Jays 2-zip last night. Toronto remain a game and a half up on Houston for that second wild card spot entering play today. Yeah. Elsewhere last night, the Phillies clinched a postseason berth with a 3-2 win over the Pirates. After back-to-back losses to the Jets, the Oilers are back in preseason action tonight when they host the Canucks. Yeah, he did.
I couldn't go any longer.
You were just kissing it. You weren't even. Brady Stonehouse camp invite, who was also part of the development camp and rookie camp. He was
Bust.
returned to Ottawa yesterday. It is part of the 67s. Edmonton Sports Talk's Tom Gazzolo will have more on tonight's roster following this morning's skate. On the pitch, Canada's women's soccer team are heading back to the Olympics. The 10th-ranked Canadians beat number 37 Jamaica 2-1 last night and 4-1 on aggregate, earning the last CONCACAF entry into the 12-country field for the 2024 Paris Games.
The Lock Shop.
I'm a Minshew guy. I think Minshew, like at least right now in these games, actually probably makes them a little bit more competitive. Indy +8 with Minshew might be a play for yours truly.
I like you riding Minshew, buddy. I back on our old show, we were huge Gardner Minshew guys. So Minshew's just steady. There's nothing spectacular about him, but he can manage teams to victories.
The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio, Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Good beat. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's the Nielson Show on a Wednesday morning. Just got the text. This is nice. Pro-Am Sports. They're going to be with, we got Dave Naylor coming up at 8:25 today. But Pro-Am is now allowed to sell the Heritage Classic merch. You know, the more I saw that jersey yesterday, the more I liked it. I saw some people, like some fans wearing it. I like, as much as the jersey, you know how it looks on a team. You're like, oh yeah, it looks good. I think it's just as important how it looks on the fan. And I thought that new Heritage Classic jersey actually looks pretty good on fans.
I have time for people who may not enjoy it or whatever, and I'd like to hear your reasons why. As you can't, it sucks. Like I'd like to hear.
It's so lame.
If you have a general gripe with it, I'd like to know why. But on the other hand, it's not one of those, like some jerseys pop. You're like, well, this is a terrible piece of garbage. Like this is fine. It's different, but it's fine.
I like the Oilers way better than the Flames, and that's not an Edmonton-Calgary take.
I'd agree with you there. Yeah. And I mean, again, hopefully they go back to the retro helmets and keep it all retro, but no, I have no problem with it. I like the outrage, though, displayed by some, like just kind of I'm not getting it.
It's a jersey. Anyway, the jerseys are now on site and available in store. Kids' jerseys as well as apparel, headwear, memorabilia are on the way, but the jerseys right now for adults available. Pro-Am Sports on St. Edward Trail, 1 block north of Yellowhead, or online at proamsports.ca. It's going to be a hot commodity, and go get it at Pro-Am. So Maddie came up with an interesting anniversary today, which I am disputing. I'm disputing.
He made it up on the spot.
I didn't come up with it. Like I didn't just do the research.
Surveyor Brett, put it in your phone.
I didn't put this in my phone to figure this out. It's just on their main website.
He claims.
Awanik today is claiming that Google is 25 years old today. And I feel like Google's been around longer than that.
I
don't know. Does it not? So Google came out when I was in grade 11. How did I search for anything on the internet prior to grade 11? And I think the internet must have been around for at least 3 or 4 years prior to grade 11.
AltaVista.
AltaVista. Well, we were talking, how did Google win the search engine battle?
This
Like,
goes
there was
to
a
Yahoo.
lot of other people that had the better start.
I'm on Yahoo now. AltaVista took me to Yahoo. Yeah, no, it's all
Yahoo bought out AltaVista.
the
Amazing.
search engine wars of days of ours. Google rise to the top. And you, what'd you say? What was the I'm feeling lucky? That was kind of the.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
I don't
lucky
know
was
about
a-
this either, man.
That was a big thing when it first came out. Because you could just click I'm feeling lucky and it took you straight to the page.
But are you claiming that Google won the search engine
think
wars
I
of
think-
early 2000s due to the I feel lucky button?
I think it gave it a heads up.
I've
Because
never
a lot
pushed
of-
it. Not once
a lot
in my
of
life.
people would talk about that, and I don't know. At the time, it was just simple as it just took you to the page you needed. You didn't need to look at things.
It doesn't take you to the page you need. It took you to a random page.
It took you to the top page of the search.
Yeah.
But at the time, we didn't know better.
Okay, so so I'm looking at Google right now.
And it's 25, right?
Yeah, I see it.
That's where it came from. I didn't come up with this.
I'm still not buying it.
Google came up with
I
this.
think they're marketing people like, hey, we need a day. Let's just say it's been 25 years. So do I just hit I'm feeling lucky, or do I type in what I'm looking for?
But you got to type what you're looking for, and then you go, I'm feeling
I'm just going to
lucky.
hit I'm feeling lucky.
I'm going to type in
I'm feeling lucky.
excellent,
Takes you to doodles.
excellent online sports shows.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so now I'm going to hit I'm feeling lucky.
Yeah.
What do you think it takes us to?
ESPN.
Yeah, that's going to be lame. That's not very lucky. Here we go. Let's see.
Takes you to the top page.
I'm feeling lucky. Oh, interesting. It takes me to BleacherReport.com and the 40 best sports TV shows,
Okay, there you go.
which is really good. Now, let's see where the league is. I'm going to quickly whip through here. It's got to be American Ninja Warrior, the Dan Patrick Show. What is this? Eastbound and Down. The league's number 3. ESPN 30 for 30, number 2. Friday Night Lights, number 1.
Do you still feel lucky?
I was about to say, you meant to figure this out if you didn't click I'm feeling lucky.
It got me some content.
Because it did.
Yeah.
That's what set it apart from everyone else.
Well.
Jeeves didn't do that for you.
Yeah, the crew at Ask Jeeves must be sitting around this morning being like, damn it, what did we do? Like, did Google end up buying up Ask Jeeves? Where was it?
Ask.com now is when
It's called Ask?
No, just ask.com.
Oh. That's not bad. That's not from a
It's
business
kind of got the same
perspective.
kind of font as Jeeves.
Does
It's all the ashes now. It's kind of like, the bomb went off for the search engine wars, and now we're left with the remnants of old skeletons of past. It's kind of like the baseball, the steroid era, hey? Like everybody was racing
Just
to
like
get that
the
thing.
baseball
You
steroid
do
era.
whatever you can to get to the
Yeah.
top. And
Around the same time, too.
well, it's a wild time to be alive.
Big Maple is in on the Nasty Chat today and says, make Ask Jeeves great again.
Where is Jeeves in? Yeah.
Lance says, Google algorithm was just superior for keyword searches, and they flexed it with the I'm feeling lucky. That was just an algorithm flex back in the day. What a time to be alive.
Bing's still a thing, though. Hey, Bing.
Yeah, Bing
You
pops
can-
up like when you buy a computer. It's like, search on Bing.
Yeah, I'm going to Bing it.
No thanks. The Bing people should just probably
Pack it in.
and
It's
shop.
time to-
Like, it just
yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. All right, let's get to a couple of Macramalla intros. He's going to be by a little bit later on. There's some good ones here. John this morning. Could be how you win text of the day for A&W. EST legal analyst and guy who didn't have one single person show up to his orgy, but he went ahead with it anyway. Eric Macramala.
Who's going to eat all this food?
EST legal analyst and guy who saves up leftover ketchup packets to use for Halloween treats. Eric Macramala.
That's a great idea.
That's actually not a bad
A little
idea.
bit of relish mustard,
Yeah, the whole thing. That's good. That one comes in
hell of
from
an
Mike. Macramala is going to be by at 7:45 today, talking sports business. So if you have any Macramala interests, you can hit us up there at 780-218-9999. Toronto Blue Jays. We missed. Coolbet hotline of the day. Not only did the Blue Jays not win by 2, they lost by 2, which is extremely frustrating. How'd the rest of that playoff picture?
Yeah, leaving
down
that
last
late. Nothing really moving on the wild card chase front. Toronto's still a game and a half up, sitting in that second spot. Mariners, I know they're getting ready to take on, Rangers again? Houston now? Houston at Seattle tonight. Nothing's really changed.
Then they
in
get
terms
back
of
to
that
the
race,
Rangers,
though.
I think. Yeah.
So, game and a half up on Houston, and Seattle half game out of the third.
So they're
wild card
2
spot.
games up on the Mariners which
I mean, again,
should be a good situation, you would think.
But you're going to that Rays series, right? And I don't know what the Rays will be bringing for that final series of the season. This is the time you got to get these last two at least against New York.
All right, so I mentioned earlier, I feel like I'm getting swindled. Let's bring you into this story. So sitting at the hospital yesterday, watching doctors put my daughter's arm back into place, and I get and I'm not gonna name names here. There are no names being named, but I had my vehicle at a shop getting diagnosed. 2 diagnostic checks, one on the front end, one on the back end. So I get the quote on the work that needs to be done to my 2016 Ford Explorer while we're sitting at the hospital having like our worst day of our life as parents. Eric, would you like to guess how much they've quoted me to fix everything that needs to be fixed on my vehicle?
Ask Jeeves. How much are you feeling lucky? Maybe I'll hit the...
I should do that, yeah.
Google how much for this. Upwards of, we're talking thousands, tens of thousands here. I just assume that there'll be way more, there'll be more money than the vehicle's worth.
Guess it,
right? Like, are we close to that sun
I
point
guess
here,
you
right?
are. So I've been quoted that it'll take
It's gonna hurt.
$11,000 to fix my Ford Explorer. $11,000. So before I get this quote, I get a text from a salesman at the place where I'm at, where we took it to.
Go on.
And the salesman goes, "Hey, I hear you might be interested in selling your Ford Explorer, using it on a trade-in." And I said, "Actually, we asked the service crew to give us an appraisal on it." And he goes, "Well, what do you want for it?" I said, "I don't know how much it's worth. I don't even know what the thing is here." So then he goes, "I'll give you like $6,000 for it." And then I get this then I get the quote on how much work it needs done, and it says it's $11,000. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking the dealership is like working in sync with like the sales and service department, saying, "Hey, let's tell this dude that they need $11,000 worth of repairs, but we'll give him $6,000 for it." And then he'll say, "Well, I'll take the $6,000. I don't have to pay the 11," which is kind of my thought process here anyway. But I also don't want to do it at this dealership because I feel like they're swindling me. So I don't know how, like, why would you pay me $6,000 for my vehicle when it needs $11,000 worth of work? How much is that vehicle worth if you put in the $11,000? Is it worth like 16, 18 grand still? I have no idea.
It's that sweet catalytic converter or something. The timeline of events I'm confused at. Would you not?
It doesn't make sense.
Would you not get the quote and then they phone you? "Hey, I heard, that's a lot of money. We will give you this for if it's too, but to get at you first."
That's why I'm feeling swindled here.
I think they kind of had their timeline. Somebody.
The sales guy reaches out to me, doesn't give me the appraisal number, just says, "Hey, how much do you want for it?" I still don't know how much work needs to go into it. And he's offering me something. I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't know." And then they say, "Yeah, it's going to be $11,000 to get a bunch of stuff that I'm not even sure exists in a vehicle." So I don't know. I don't know where I'm at right now.
So if you taking it, is it still on the hoist?
No, it's still sitting over at the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
You're kind of...
I don't know what to do.
Like, can you get it out of there? Do we need to break in overnight to get a rescue to get...
I honestly have no clue.
You either pay for the...
I'm not paying $11,000 to fix this vehicle.
Well,
I put like $4,000 into it 5 months ago.
But then what you do? You can't get it. They're essentially holding it hostage until you either pay up or just take the...
I'm going to duct tape the water pump on my own, and then we'll just move from there. So
it's going to have to happen, I think.
I don't know. It's strange to me how this whole timing has worked out. And as much as we have great partnerships with other dealerships, which is probably where I'll end up going for maybe like a used truck or something.
Yeah.
Something doesn't seem right about this. My fishy meter is just clipping along up here right now.
Brandon at 780-218-9999 basically just says they're trying to sell you a new car. That's the bottom line. I'd say take it to Phrases, just take it out to Will's place.
Take it out to Will's place.
He'll fix it right up. You'll make money.
Shawnzy says, "Dusty, I sold cars for a while. It's a gimmick." What?
But did they pull this gimmick off? Like, again, I'm thinking they got the time screwed up. The guy that phoned you there 6 p.m., 6 a.m., and he kind of got those, and it's like, oh,
maybe
phoned him a little
that's
too
what
early.
it
Like,
is.
he got in front of it.
This guy's saying the Explorer is probably worth $25,000. It can't be worth $25,000. It needs $11,000 worth of work, or so they say.
Barry chimes in, "Hi, Dustin. I would trust them. I've never heard of a car salesman being shady before." The alternate take. I don't mind it.
That's actually
that's two sides.
That's a pretty good one. Where's the one? Then once they're saying, "Dusty, I got my 2015." I got $29K for a trade-in for a 2018 Explorer last September. What?
Well, and there's a couple of texts I'm seeing shop around. I say you dangle this puppy to some, we really juiced it up, a big, juicy Ford Explorer.
See, and I was thinking of replying to him and being like, listen, I don't want this to be a problem for you. Give me $4,000 for it, and we can all go on our way. So, wow, interesting. I was looking online last night. Like 2017, 2018 Ford Explorers are still moving at a pretty decent number. So,
with lots of things wrong with them.
But how much is, what is wrong with it?
I don't know.
That's the thing. That's why I feel like I'm being swindled here. You know what you need?
You need a phrase diagnosis on this thing. He needs to go over it with a fine-tooth comb and just kind of...
Here's an industry for somebody to create. You know how you have a realtor who helps you buy a home? You need a vehicle-ter who helps you buy a vehicle and make sure you're not getting swindled on things. Yeah. Like, you tell them this is what I want. They look around. They get 5 different options. You go around with the vehicle-ter, and they're showing you everything that you need to know, right? Yeah. As opposed to some average Joe like me who's sitting here being like, well, what do I do? I pay this guy $11,000? Or
it's like showing up to these places with a bit of muscle. You see that guy waiting behind there? Like, you can't, and he's looking, he's pointing at the...
You think I should go down to Russian spa guys and say, hey, you want to come with me for an hour?
Just a bit of muscle. And hey, I brought my associates with me. Yeah. And then they just flank you on the...
Oh, that's interesting. All right, what say you? Silver Capri says, cars are crazy right now, new and used. I had to get a used one yesterday, 2008 for $7,800. Only $130,000 though.
That's...
Yeah, so
I like the buying used route.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go the buy used route this time.
Like, you're not a car enthusiast.
I really don't care.
Yeah, it's not.
I mostly just want to get a truck so we can move this recycling. That's it. That's my main. That's my main
still
push
like station truck.
Station truck idea.
And really, really beat up.
Yeah. Ken is into the nasty chat and says, oh, nice. Greg is on at 7:05. Can you ask him about the science of the weird rankings at ESPN having the Oilers at 20th? We'll get to that coming up. We'll kind of set that up to explain to you what's going on with these ESPN rankings. And then Wyshynski will actually pop by here just after 7:05 to speak for himself. So he'll join us. Free advice. I guess I was kind of looking for free advice here. What do I do with this?
I don't think you found it yet, though. So keep it coming in.
Well, I mean, it seems to me like people are like, you should take it somewhere else to get fixed, and then
shop around,
and then sell it and shop around a little bit. So I don't know.
I really love putting this puppy out on the pedestal and kind of, you want it? Here it is.
This is gonna be. I'm gonna do an auction. We got 11 hours over here. 11.5.
Very sought after. Very sought after.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, the Edmonton Oilers, the 20th best team in the National Hockey League 3 years from now. We'll get into that. With
got to win a preseason game first.
Maybe the preseason is backing up these ESPN rankings.
Hockey's back.
We'll get into that preseason actually tonight, so we'll get into that as well. But Wyshynski, Macramalla, free advice in hour number 2. If you need a late 6 o'clock hour conching, let us know why. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That's also where you can send your Macramalla intros. Let's get into a sports update with Lieutenant Eric.
Toronto Blue Jays remain a game and a half up on Houston for the second wildcard spot entering today's play as the Jays dropped the opener of a 3-game set at home to the Yankees 2-0. Elsewhere last night, the Phillies clinched a postseason berth with a 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. Canada's women's soccer team, they're heading back to the Olympics. The 10th-ranked Canadians beat number 37 Jamaica 2-1 last night and 4-1 on aggregate, earning the last CONCACAF entry into the 12-country field for the 2024 Paris Games. And after back-to-back losses to the Jets, the Oilers are back in preseason action tonight. They'll welcome in the Canucks. Camp invite Brady Stonehouse was sent back to Ottawa yesterday. Edmonton Sports Talk's Tom Gazzola. You'll have more on tonight's roster following this morning's skate.
2 guys and a goalie.
Babcock's gone. The Blue Jackets had an availability. They made a major mistake. Cash, your thoughts on how this looks on that organization?
Out of all the hires, this is the one that we felt was going to make us the best. Quite clearly, it was not.
It's just a weird kind of thing to do, to ask someone to look at their phone and the pictures on their phone. If you think by seeing a photo you're going to learn a lot about a person, then follow them on social media. I'm sure if Mike Babcock requested to follow a few members of his Columbus Blue Jackets, what he he did was wrong. He hasn't changed a bit.
Two Guys and a Goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielson. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey. Saturday mornings at 10. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for the Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast, located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show, featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday with the Nielson Show. We've got Greg Wishinski coming up for Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for Metal. Going to be by just after 7 o'clock. Free advice with Damon Bunting. And then Macramalla is going to pop by as well. HR Daddy's chimed in this morning. He said, hey, Eric, I need your address for your pay statement. Also, tell Dustin to get rid of the car because he never looked after it and it has more than 200,000 kilometers on it and a broken windshield.
HR Daddy.
You're not helping the cause here, man. First of all,
hard truths.
I got it from you. Like, this was a vehicle that I bought from HR Daddy, which I immediately had to sink money into and have continued to have. Basically, HR Daddy sold me a lemon.
Yeah,
simple
and
as
he's
enough.
sleeping soundly on his bed of money.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I feel like I got hosed by my own father in this situation, and I'll try to get by it. I'll try to move by it, but you can't tell me service departments and sales departments don't work together on this stuff. What'd you say? What was your air conditioning story?
Well, I phoned for it was a 24/7 type. I just needed somebody in. I wanted somebody in immediately, And I phone the place, and the guy shows up, but with a sales associate alongside. And he walked, like, I know who, hey, Rob's coming to do your thing. So that's Rob. I don't know who she is. She never introduced herself. And, 10 minutes in, she's looking at that. She's looking at this. And then I get a business card. And, hey, when you want to replace your entire house, give us a call. I don't need any of this. Like, and it was very, like, I'm not going to do business again with that type of pushiness. But it was a very strong-armed shot.
I guess you got to do that. I mean, if you're in the sales game, I guess you have to do that.
Little strong.
Man.
Didn't ask for, I didn't even know the name. Introduce yourself. Hello, I'm here to swindle you.
Another NHL season is almost upon us, and ESPN and Wyshynski is going to answer for this. Oh, darn you, Wyshynski. He's going to join us around 7:05 today. But ESPN has just put together a list. The top 10 NHL teams for the next 3 seasons, according to ESPN. Okay, this is the top 10 NHL teams for the top, or they rank the entire league for the next 3 seasons. So obviously, here's the top 10, and this is why Oilers fans are freaking out. This is what ESPN is projected to be the top 3 teams according to the system. And tell you what's into the system. So we'll get into that with Wyshynski a little bit. Number 1, New Jersey Devils. Number 2, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 3, the Buffalo Sabres. Number 4, the Detroit Red Wings. Number 5, the Seattle Kraken. Number 6, the Dallas Stars. Number 7, the Minnesota Wild. Number 8, the Golden Knights. Number 9, the Columbus Blue Jackets. And number 10, the Los Angeles Kings. The Edmonton Oilers come in at number 20 on this list. Now, this is a list that's put together
it's not the bottom 10.
On how they're set up for success over the next 3 years. So there's 4 different categories here, which is, I guess, maybe how you justify this. There's the current roster. Okay, so that's like what the group they have now and where they'll be going from. Your prospects, your salary cap situation and the contracts, and then the owner, the GM, and the coach is like your leadership group, from a business perspective. So the New Jersey Devils, who they think will be the most successful team in the NHL over the next 3 years. I like where the Devils are headed.
Favorite team, right?
Oh, Wyshynski's.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
They've got them ranked as having the 3rd best NHL roster right now, 2nd best prospects, 5th best situation when it comes to cap and contracts, and then the 8th best ownership, GM, coach combination. So you get all the way down to the Edmonton Oilers, who are 20th on this list. 2 spots behind the Chicago Blackhawks, by the way. Nothing against Bedard, but let's be honest. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So the Oilers right now have a tie, I guess, for the 3rd best roster in the National Hockey League. So they've got a 3 at the top. Their prospects list is sitting at 29th right now. So, and tough to argue that. I mean, they've sacrificed it.
We've been in preseason, prospects.
Their cap and contract situation is at 19th, and then the owner, GM / coach situation sits at 17. I would probably give them a significant bump in that area. I can see where they're at for the prospects, but I don't know. Does this formula to you make sense to put together the best teams in the NHL over the next 3 years? Part of me, and I don't know, we'll ask Wyshynski about this, but I feel like current roster right now should carry more weight with it than your prospects if we're just talking about the next 3 years,
Yeah, and I mean, this is the rubric they're using, so this is what you go by. And yeah, I mean, we talk about this team in the window now to win. So the roster right now and the score they get for that is that. And again, on the other side, we've been talking about the prospects, and who cares? This is where you want to be. And so, but for a 3-year thing, maybe if this is like you're looking 5, maybe heading into 7, maybe I could understand a little more long, but it's certainly not like just this year for the Oilers, right? And if you're talking 1 to 3, you could even stretch it out into the 2. The 3rd, maybe, and you can maybe have an argument there, and maybe with the managing and coach, there's I don't know, but I just if we're talking today and just in the next 3, that should maybe carry a little more weight. But hey, this is their rubric, and we'll go by it. But it certainly makes for the old clickety clickbait, does it not?
Well, we have to find out.
What sucks you in and draws you in there.
And once again, this is the service department telling the sales department, let's get this out there.
It's the world we live in, right?
I feel like that's probably how you would go about this. But if you're looking at it, and let me get the title of this article again, because I want to make sure I'm not like it's not a clever play on words. NHL future power rankings. In the NHL, there's an emphasis on this obsession over the window to win. So that's where these future power rankings come in. Nathan, who tweeted this out, said top 10 NHL teams for the next 3 seasons. What I don't understand is, and this is how I have to figure out how these things were weighted, because the Edmonton Oilers have Connor McDavid for this year. That's 1 season. They have him for next year. That's 2 seasons. And they have him for the following year. We know this. That's 3 seasons. The salary cap is going to go up, so their cap crunch probably isn't as desperate as we make it out to be right now. I just don't know how a team that can have Connor McDavid for the next 3 years can't be viewed as a top 10 team as far as being set up for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and even when you come to the cap argument as well, if that's going up, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be in such dire straits. So you could add a little more points on that side of the metric as well. There are a few. I mean, I don't know, like they're just in that middle spot too, right? Like it's the Columbus Blue Jackets at 9. Like you're gonna have the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, how can you tell me the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to be better off in 3 years than the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid? Like, unless this is a power ranking of the teams 4 years from now, and they're projecting Draisaitl and McDavid not to be around anymore.
And
then it would be a different situation because the cupboards are bare.
That's not really mentioned in the
I don't think so.
Explanation area either. And for the Columbus side of things,
did you guys see the weighting of how it goes?
Well, we broke down the 4 categories.
Did you see the percent of weighting?
Oh, no, we didn't.
Yeah, okay, so roster's 35%. Your prospect is 25%. Your cap contracts is 20%. Owner, GM, coaches is 20%.
So bumping roster up from 35 to...
I'd take roster right up to 50%.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, okay, but I don't know the number of this.
Okay.
Playing devil's advocate here. How many rosters stay very much the same 3 years from now?
I don't know, Wyshynski lover.
Oh, I'm just
No, I mean, that's fair.
I think this does come down to Connor and Leon. Are they here or not? And that's like when they say 3 years, is this the start of that third season or is it the end of that third season?
This is what I want to know.
Going
because
into year 4, because then that's no Connor potentially in their eyes and no Leon potentially in their eyes. I do agree with the owner or GM coach where they're at too, because
I think
we don't know who the GM is. We don't know who the GM is of this team.
Well,
and I think that plays.
GMs.
I don't know if that plays into the rankings here. Is that this is a team that you don't know who's actually going to be the GM of this team.
You don't think based on just Woody and Cates, they should be a little bit higher?
What has Cates done?
I think he's pretty committed financially to this team.
Sure, and there's also been a lot of errors under his ownership watch.
Yeah.
So that one, I Woody, yes.
So if it's just like success over the next 3 years, McDavid, Hyman, Kane, and Nuge all under contract for the full 3-year window. Draisaitl on contract for 2 of those. We don't think he's going anywhere, but I mean, I guess you have to see how that plays out. But they've got that core group. Ekholm signed for the next 3 years. Nurse, we know how long he signed for. Bouchard under control for 2/3 of that, and then he's under control for the whole stretch of it. So you got Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell, both your goalies. I mean, I don't know if you can view that a good thing or a bad thing, but they're all under contract for the next 3 years. Like, we know what this Oilers team is going to be like for the next 3 years. So I don't know. I guess I want to get to the bottom.
Well, you say
exactly,
we know,
like, is it a 3-year window, or is it these are the best teams in the NHL 4 years from now? Because for me, I guess you can justify that a little bit if there's that window with McDavid and Draisaitl.
This sentence that they have does not do them justice for this. These rankings consider how teams are set up for success this season as well as the next 3 seasons. So what I read that
so that doesn't add up.
doesn't read to me 4 years for start of after 3 seasons. Yeah. Where is everyone? This is like average out the next 3 seasons.
How can you put Chicago even 2 spots higher than Edmonton if it's factoring in set up for success this season? Did you say this season, the next 3 seasons?
This season as well as the next 3 seasons. So it's the next 4 seasons, basically. That's the way I read this. This season and then 3 seasons after that. So as you said, that's at least 3 seasons of Connor McDavid. That's at least 2 seasons of Connor and Leon.
They're assuming that it's
3 of Nuge and Hyman and Kane. It's
and it's not. When I first read future power rankings, I viewed it as where these teams are 3 years from now.
And if you do that, the list isn't as ridiculous as it is.
But that sentence says it's basically averaging out how well these teams perform over the next 4 seasons is how I look at that. Which then there is no, like, the Oilers, I get maybe you could say maybe that 4th season there could be a drop-off if, in theory, you believe Connor and Leon aren't going to be here. But for those first 3 seasons, they're going to be a darn good hockey team. They should be top 10.
I know Wyshynski's going to take a lot of heat for this, but it was a panel of people. Greg is just the voice. He's the best one they got, in my opinion. So he's going to pop by coming up here just after 7 o'clock, and we'll dive into this. What exactly were they trying to accomplish with this list, I guess, outside of the click? They got us on the click. Well done. I've clicked it like 6 times now.
Yeah.
How many people just went and clicked it? A lot of people go and click things. Jack from Pro-Am said when we talked about the Heritage jerseys, a lot of people were clicking on the website, so that's good. You're looking for those Heritage jerseys, proamsports.ca. They'll be back with Dave Naylor at 8:25 today. Be
sure to click EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Yes, okay. That's right. We will have Wyshynski, 7:05, Macramalla, 7:45. Get your intros in right now. We'll talk about the Taylor Swift bump on the National Football League, and free advice for Damon Bunting around 7:25. What do you need help with? Fantasy sports, fantasy hockey, fantasy football, life advice. That's where we really have a lot of fun with this. So we'll get to that in hour number 2 right here on the Nielson Show. Don't go anywhere.
The EST Hangout.
Matawanek, Tom Gazzola.
Yeah.
As well as we got Min Darwal from CBC and Doug McLean, Golden Bears Pandas analyst, along with the Stingers.
I think the older this kid gets,
Connor?
you're starting to see glimpses of what we're not privy to inside that room.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, now we're starting to see these guys put a stamp on this team. I think that culture that they're creating, instead of having it top down where it has a trickle down effect, I think it's working both ways where it kind of dictates what happens with the executive and the hockey side of the front office.
EST Hangout, weekday mornings at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast, located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning. Thank you very much for being here. What's the weather look like today? And let's find out what the weather is going to be like today in the Edmonton area. Yesterday was okayish.
It's a fall day,
Yeah.
autumn, I guess, or not yet.
My weather app
Especially
is not loading right now. Anyway, I would assume it's probably close to how it was yesterday out there.
Yes, high teens, eh?
If you
10
have any-
degrees right now in the city of Edmonton, looking for a high of 18, mix of sun and clouds. 30% chance of showers this morning.
The weather wonder kid.
Showers this morning, you say?
30% chance.
I don't mind a little sprinkling.
This is according to
Cut
Environment
the grass
Canada.
today.
Tonight, overnight, we're going to get to a low of 3, and then tomorrow a high of 14. 60% chance of showers in the afternoon.
All right, well, there you go. That's the absolute latest on the weather in our area. Greg Wishinski is going to pop by here. He is brought to you by Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for metal. Metalsupermarkets.com. Do you think I can
thought
say it
your
well
hand
enough?
was on the thing.
No, I got it. I got it. Yeah, your
just-
convenience
come on.
store for... Oh, God, that feels real nice. Any size, cut to any shape. You want to go in and say, yes, I need a isosceles triangle of metal, please.
That's an
They cut
interesting-
that for you. It's absolutely incredible. That's good stuff. All right, let's bring in Greg Wishinski this morning. Wishinski, good morning. How you doing, man?
Isosceles triangle. It's incredible.
When was the last time you used an isosceles triangle, you know?
I never did, and that's the issue I'm having is my kid's 13, and
Your
she's
kid's
taking all
13
these.
already?
I know, right? Time
Holy.
flies. So, like, it goes to show you that you and I have known each other for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt.
She started to take these math classes that I took and that we all took, and I'm trying to keep it a straight face as she's asking me, do I need to know this stuff for later in life? I'm like, I don't want to, it's like telling your kid about Santa Claus, right? Like, I don't want to give up the ghost. I want to let her know that, yeah, work hard. Calculus is really important, whatever. But I mean, at some point we'll probably have a heart to heart about how that was old trash. And, I'm just trying to get you to get good grades.
I'm trying to think, like, outside of general knowledge of reading and writing, what else do we really use from school? It's not like I'm, as an adult, going around and coloring maps and things like that. Like, what do you think we actually took away from our years in school?
Well, there's where things are getting better. So she's in public school, and one of the classes, she's taking 2 classes right now that I think are, like, more important than anything I did in school. One is a spin on home economics, but it teaches you, like, real fundamental stuff, like, around the house and whatever.
Okay.
And the other is, like, economics. And I never took an economics class when I was in high school. Like, I took one in college and then cheated my behind off because I didn't know anything.
That's exactly what I did, too, in economics.
Right. But, like, if you teach a kid, like, imagine if you teach a kid, who's like going to be a freshman in high school about, like, what the hell the stock market is, what the hell, you're putting your money in a long-term CD does. Like, all that fundamental stuff, I think she's now in classes that'll help. Now, granted, she might become a day trader and bankrupt us. It's quite possible. That's one of the outcomes too. She watches, like, Boiler Room, and all of a sudden it's like we have got no money. But all that fundamental stuff to me is so much more important than. I mean, listen, I really love the fact that I know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Does it help me in everyday life? It probably doesn't. So I'm happy she's taking some fundamental classes.
Great pull on Boiler Room. I love that movie.
There's an entire subgenre now. I was thinking a lot about it because that movie Dumb Money is coming out about the GameStop scandal. And, like, you have Boiler Room, you've got that, you've got Margin Call, you've got all these movies that are in that subgenre of white guys yelling at each other in a room about money, and I'm here for it.
Greg Wishinski with us, brought to you by Metal Supermarkets. All right, Greg, explain the list to us.
Well,
we've been debating the list. We've been looking at the list. Of course,
it
the Oilers
looks
are
like-
disrespected on the list.
Kind of looks like you guys have been using that new math that they're all using, right? Like, this is kind of the numbers all add up.
What is... Like, when you guys did this, and your I know it's not just you. I know you always take a lot of heat. I was reading some of the replies to you last night on Twitter, and I have to say, I was highly entertained by them, as per usual. But I know you end up being the front man for a lot of this stuff, so you take some of the heat. But when you guys put together this group as a panel, what were you tasked with? What was, because we're trying to figure out if it's set up for success over the next 4 years, or if we're power ranking, like, all of the teams in the league 4 years from now.
my favorite interaction was somebody who said, do you expect people to read the context for these scores? And I said, I'd like to believe that people are intellectually curious. And then they responded by saying, are you saying that if I disagree with you, I'm not intellectual? And I'm like pondering that for a second. And I'm like, listen, the way that this thing works is that we give a score to each category for each team. It's just a big, long list. It's not comparing one team to another. It's kind of on their own merits. And that's why I think in some cases you see this disparity of well, why would this team be ahead of this team? It's because it's kind of like done blindly. I think if there was maybe a change to the process, I'd say maybe it would be better to see all the scores and then figure out exactly maybe the Oilers should be higher than some of the teams are behind. But again, the future power rankings is for the next 3 years. It's current roster. It's faith in your management. It's your prospect pool. And I forget exactly how the Oilers rated out, but no doubt they should be higher than where they are on this list. I mean, the next 3 years is going to be 3 years, presumably, of Connor and Leon and a supporting cast that I think is probably getting better, each year. I mean, I think we all expect Bouchard to be better. I mean, Skinner's going to have a year under his belt. So, to the people that think it's dumb that Toronto and Edmonton are so low on the list, given the age of their core, I tend to agree with you.
Well, having said that, are there any other surprises that pop off on you on this one? I mean, I know you pump you have the formula, you have the metrics, you pump the numbers in, and then boom, it spits out, where they should be. But anything else jump off the page? I'm looking at Columbus at 9th. Care to kind of go into any other surprises that kind of pop up?
Well, tell me why. Tell me your feelings on Columbus at 9th. Is that too high? Is that too low?
A little too high for me personally. But again, I'm the intellectual part of this. I did read the paragraph, so I kind of went in there and I got. But I still kind of disagree.
But let's break that down, though. I mean, if it's a 3-year window, and given the age of Gaudreau, given the age of Laine, given the age of Werenski, with Fantilli coming in, with Johnson in his second year. I mean, granted, the goaltending is going to be a concern. But, I mean, it's not as if they don't have a core that could coalesce in the next 3 years and make them a contender. So, I mean, from that aspect, especially with the Fantilli piece, I'm not all that upset about that. There's a few that surprised me. The ones way at the bottom of the list, I think Calgary was really down, and it wasn't a surprise, but it kind of put into sharp relief what a predicament they're in, for example. And, I thought the top of the list made a lot of sense. With Jersey and Buffalo and teams like that. So, I mean, I guess overall there wasn't a whole ton of surprises for me other than the placement of some of the better teams that, frankly shouldn't be where they are.
Yeah. To me, it was some teams like New Jersey's done a really good job of advancing a lot of their younger guys already, but still having a good prospect list. So I can see why New Jersey would be placed high on this list. To me, the Oilers not having a very good prospect list and having a brutal prospect list. I mean, they've traded some of their picks. They've traded some of their prospects already. Yeah. Let's just say rookie camp wasn't that thrilling this year here in Edmonton. But to me, I think they're kind of being punished for how bad their prospect group is when, if we're talking about a window here over the next 3 to 4 years, I mean, I think they should probably be higher than Columbus on that list. If we're talking about where things are at 8 years from now, I could see with the Fantillis and the Johnsons and stuff why Columbus would be where it is, right?
I do. And again, I can't speak for the rest of the panel, but I know that sometimes even the word prospect is kind of a tough one to wrap your brain around. If you have a guy that's been there for 2 years, going on 3 years, but he's young and he really hasn't. Let me give you an example. Quentin Byfield's 21 years old, right? Last year was the first year in which he got significant playing time. Played on the top line in LA with Adrian Kempe and Andrzej Kopitar. I mean, what do you call him? I mean, is he a prospect? Not necessarily, because he's been in the league for a few years. But I would definitely kind of group him in with the younger class of player that is going to come up behind the veterans that are on that team still. So I think in some cases it may require maybe it should just be young players or Team North America age players, because I think when it comes to prospect pool, you're going to have teams that have a really robust prospect pool, but those prospects might not be there for 3 years.
Yeah, after this window, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in Jersey's case, like you said, they're hitting the sweet spot where they have guys that are coming up now, like Luke Hughes and Alexander Holtz. They still have Simone Nemish in the minor leagues, who was like the number 2 overall pick, and like. So, I mean, they're in the kind of sweet spot, but I do think that there needs to be a definition of terms. Basically, what I'm saying is that, like, look, we don't do these as much as people think we do these lists. So you'll click on the thing. You're like, we do, but we don't want to do it in a way where it's dumb and where the overall reaction isn't you debating the merits of the list, but you debating the existence of the list because you think because you hate it. Like, we don't want that. So, I mean, if there are flaws in the ideology, it's something we can certainly circle back on. And I guess for whatever reason this year, like, things went a little wonky with the placement of some of these teams.
Greg Wishinski with us here on the Nielson Show today. What'd you say? You're at Bruins camp? Is that what I saw yesterday?
Yeah, I'm right across from Warrior Ice Arena here in Boston, where the Bruins are camping as we speak. I was in Pittsburgh last week and broke the news that Mike Sullivan intends to use both Erik Karlsson and Crystal Tang on the same power play, which would be kind of fun. And looking forward to being here in Boston. I'm working on a story about, I mean, how do you come back from what happened last year? Like, we have seen teams before get upset in the first round. I mean, Tampa is only a few years removed from being swept by Columbus, but what we haven't seen is a team with that level of expectation then lose in the first round and then lose the most significant player on their roster in Patrice Bergeron and have to turn the page there. I mean, like, Boston's in a very unique situation. And the one thing I'm curious, and I'm hoping I get a chance to ask some of the guys that were there for it, particularly Marchand, how does this feel versus losing the Blues in Game 7 in the Cup final? Like, does it hurt more to have what happened with the Panthers? Does it hurt more to be that close to a cup and lose it? I don't know. I mean, like, the euphoria of the regular season combined with the crash and burn against the Panthers and leaving that arena as quiet as I've ever heard an arena before. Even the Blues winning the Cup, it wasn't that quiet in Boston. I'm curious to find out how they've processed all this.
How I don't even want to describe it as a far fall, but considering the changes there, what are you expecting from Boston this year? Like a middle of the pack playoff team, or are they still going to be one of the elites in the East?
So our show, The Drop, that me and Arda Ocal do, came back yesterday for our first episode. We're doing it twice a week now.
And where can you find it? Everywhere, basically?
Well, it's on YouTube, but the cool thing is that they put it in a podcast form this year. So I finally have a hockey podcast again, which is very exciting. So the point is, it comes out Tuesday and Thursday. You can find it wherever you find podcasts, and it's been on the NHL and the ESPN YouTube channel. But the point of that is that we did our standings to the East yesterday. And I have Boston second in the Atlantic. I think that people have to kind of take a step back. And yeah, look, they're gutted at center a little bit. You know, Pavel Zacha, Charlie Coyle, top 2 centers right now. It's something that they could remedy in season, but let's say they don't. Let's say they just roll in with those 2. It's still a very deep forward group, an even deeper defensive group.
A good blue line, yeah.
And arguably the best goaltending battery in the league. And a coach in Jim Montgomery who has shown time and time again that he can get a team to play a certain way to minimize defensive liability and maximize defensive domination. And so I look at this team, I still think there's a ton of talent there. I mean, you're still talking about Pasternak being a guy that could score 60. Marchand, the captain, I think was a really smart move. There's a lot still here. And I do think that beyond the typical Bruins pride thing that'll happen with having lost in the first round, you're talking about a team that is all about process and is all about, you know, people being there and teaching the new people what they do. And it's been a sustained level of success. And I do think that the championship window probably slammed shut as soon as Patrice Bergeron hands in his resignation notice. But like, you know, I still think that they're a really good regular season team and are going to do fine in that division.
Greg, as always, man, really appreciate it. We'll catch up next week.
Anytime.
There you go. That is Greg Wishinski from ESPN, brought to you by Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for... Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you need something cut Any size, they got you covered. The convenience store for metal. Any metal, cut to size, ready fast. How fast? Find out today.
Almost like you can take this list, put it on a piece of metal, show up there and say, slice this thing up, hey, Oilers fans. Bring in the ESPN list, cut this up into a million pieces.
Here's the list. For everybody listening right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Guys, this ranking is exactly like comparing advanced analytics versus the eye test. Careful, we don't want to go there just yet. I like the people who were booing Greg in the nasty chat. Boo, Greg.
Big shoulders, hey? He's always the one. He's the face of that whole thing.
Greg came in and said the Oilers should be higher on this list.
Yes.
Like he said that.
This was a machine where they put the numbers in and it spit out the results here. That's kind of how this whole thing worked.
If we were to view, what do you guys say here? And we'll get to free advice coming up in just a moment, and we'll get an update coming up. But if you were to put together teams that are in their window right now, how many NHL teams are in their window right now? 10? 8, 9, 10? Edmonton? Carolina would be in their window right now. Is Tampa's window still open? I feel like Tampa's window is like almost closed.
Well, what type of windows are we talking about here? You're talking about big, patio windows or like a small little basement window, right? Like
I think it's a window that slides side to side.
Yeah. Because some windows, you can open them up, you can crawl out of there. It's easy. You can
Vegas
walk out
just
of there.
won. I think you'd have to say that Vegas is in the window, but I don't know if I really view it. They
no,
won.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
You've gotten there. You won.
Either Oilers, Colorado.
Yeah.
Which I don't think the Kings are at that point yet.
They're close.
I know, but
their problem is that their window has to go through Edmonton's window.
I think their window, I would say the Oilers' window's fully open. The Kings is halfway open, type thing. It's okay. Yeah, that's
fair.
That's there's the two tiers to that. The team that you're right there, and then the teams that are maybe just that.
So which way
behind.
is the Kings' window going? Because Kopitar and Doughty, I don't know, man.
You don't think it's open?
Well, Kopitar and Doughty aren't getting younger. And I know they've got good pieces there, but if those guys, 3 years from now, are the Kings better than they are now or worse?
But are we talking about this season, that window open, or?
I think we put together a very controversial list at edmontonsportstalk.com. You can click it.
Because I think for this season at least, the teams that we're going to sit there and say could go win the Stanley Cup at this moment, I think it's probably 8, 9 teams.
Let me bring this up here. Let's just quickly.
Because in the West, it's Oilers, it's Vegas, it's Colorado. Maybe we'll throw the Kings in there, and would you throw Dallas in there?
Yeah, I don't love Dallas's window, but they're probably in one right now.
So that'd be the 5 from the West.
That would be it, I would think. And then if you look
Carolina,
at the East,
Florida,
Devils,
Columbus,
Rangers, maybe.
If you're going to throw Rangers, then I'd have to say you'd have to throw Toronto.
Oh no, Toronto! This is Toronto's window. It's just never going to open.
So then
Toronto's window has that wooden stick that's blocking it, and you'll never be able to move it any further.
It's different types of windows.
10 teams, but a couple of them, as we threw them out to you, you immediately went, right?
Yeah, so I think there's 8 teams in a window right now. Guys, the Flames window is painted on a wall. The Flames have a hotel window. The one in Vegas that you can't get out. They're trying to figure out, how do I get out of here? You can't get it.
Text.
That's the Flames. They're locked in their window. That's a tough one. All right, where do you come out on this? Hit us up in the nasty chat or online. If you're listening online, and a lot of people texting in. 780-218-9999. If anything's jamming you up on the roads out there, let us know so we can pass it along to people so they can avoid those high traffic areas. All right, what do you need help with? Free advice coming up here for Damon Bunting. Fantasy football, fantasy hockey advice, life advice. Nasty chat is where you can go, or in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. We will try to get to those answers for you coming up. But first, let's get to a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric.
Jays dropping the opener to the Yankees last night, 2-0 from Toronto. It's the game 1 of a 3-game series. Toronto game and a half up on Houston for that second wild card spot. Astros are in Seattle tonight to play the rubber match of that 3-game series with the Mariners. Elsewhere last night, Phillies are back in the postseason with a 3-2 win over the Pirates. After back-to-back losses to the Jets, the Oilers are back in preseason action tonight. They'll host the Canucks. Camp invite Brady Stonehouse was sent back to Ottawa yesterday. Edmonton Sports Talk's Tom Gazzola will have more on tonight's roster following the morning skate later this morning. Canada's women's soccer team, they're back in the Olympics. The 10th-ranked Canadians knocking off number 37 Jamaica 2-1 last night and 4-1 on aggregate to earn the last CONCACAF entry. It's a 12-country field for the 2024 Paris Games. This Sports Rewind brought to you by Universal Rewind, industrial electric motor sales and service. Servicing many industries we rely on daily, from agriculture and aggregates to food processing and industrial manufacturing. Choose expertise, experience, quality. Choose Universal Rewind.
The Lock Shop.
I'm a Minshew guy. I think Minshew, like at least right now in these games, actually probably makes them a little bit more competitive. Indy +8 with Minshew might be a play for yours truly.
I like you riding Minshew, buddy. I back on our old show, we were huge Gardner Minshew guys. So Minshew's just steady. There's nothing spectacular about him, but he can manage teams to victories.
The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast, located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for the Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio, Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I gotta dive into the water a little bit more. Problem is,
liter and a half.
I gotta go pee really bad, but we don't have a ton of time in between. I mean, I got enough time, I guess, but I had other things I wanted to do, and now you're trying to see. You think I can hold it to the end
what
of the show?
What happens first? You take a piss or Gazzola shows up here today? Type of thing.
This is great. My piss versus Tommy
maybe.
Gazzola.
I don't know if he's...
Tommy's not coming today.
That's...
Oh, no!
Yeah, so we kind of...
I'm going to be a full-blown pee pants. You're going to see me on the lock shop. You're
Who
like,
shows
oh
up
my
first?
God, I got to go pee. It's pretty good. So, yeah, that's... okay, fine then. All right, you can. Oh, by the way, people in the YouTube chat, the nasty chat this morning, and on the text line, describing what the Flames window is like. That could be how you get in the mix for text of the day. Macramalla intros as well. I like the one here. The Flames window is a glory hole in the bathroom at the Saddle Dome.
Just going right there, eh?
Calgary's window is like the little slot they give you for food in prison. That little window there.
Slam it shut.
I wonder if you always know what's coming, or some days in prison food you're excited. Like they say, open up, and they slide it open, and then they drop up 2 microwave Pop-Tarts.
I'd choose the randomness if I had,
Best prison ever. Yeah, you would rather, some days you'll love it, some days you'll hate it,
yeah.
but it'll always be a surprise, and we love surprises around here.
Oh, do we ever?
That's one thing that we've already, no surprises today. Guys, the Leafs window doesn't open, but it looks over the parade route. You can't get a look at it there as well. Somebody else suggested that the Flames window is the little peephole in a hotel room door, like that. That's a good one too. So keep those rolling in. 780-218-9999 Paris Jewelers inbox, or on the nasty chat today as well. And if you're watching right now, hammer that thumbs up. Macramalla is going to join us in about 7:45 to find out if the National Football League should sign an official endorsement deal with Taylor Swift. We'll get into that with Macramalla when he joins us.
But who signs who?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows who's more important in that relationship.
It's the Shield, for crying out loud. The Shield, right?
Free advice. Let's get into free advice for Damon Bunting. This guy, since he signed up with us, he has sold 130 houses just because of this relationship.
Units, hey? Is that
moving units?
Moving units. That's all they do.
I made that number up. He might have actually moved them. I don't know. What's a good year for a realtor? Like if you sell, I have a buddy who's a realtor down in Lethbridge, and he grinds. He watches the show, actually. He grinds. But like, what's a good month for a realtor? 12 houses? 15 houses? 3 houses? I don't know. All I know is that Bunting is selling all the houses. So if you're buying, if you're selling, he's your guy. You need free advice on realty. He is your guy, one of the top producing realtors in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. His team would love to help you out. Good community guy, too. He's driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out. DamonBunting.com is the website. Yeah, sometimes you like to go on and you like to dream a little bit, right? So you go onto a realtor's website and you're like, look at this house. Wouldn't this house be amazing? Maddie, were you looking up what a good realtor does? I feel like you were Googling that. Did you get an
I was
answer?
trying nothing right off the bat.
Nothing right off the bat?
Like in terms of how many houses sold.
Yeah. I'm going to set the over-under on a good month for a realtor. Like with a car dealership, even the sketchy one that is holding my Ford Explorer ransom right now, I feel like if you sell like 5 cars, 6 cars a month, if you're like a salesman, that might be good.
It's like those big fishing boats, though, off the coast. You get a big tuna in, like you
get one tuna or a bunch of little salmon.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? How big are the units?
Nobody
Wide,
knows in that situation. I'm going to set the over under on a good month for a realtor at 3.5 houses. Let me know. Like that's pretty good. That's you're basically selling a house a week. That'd be 52 houses in a year.
I'm going to go the under.
You're going to take the under?
I'm around 2.
2?
Yeah, it's a lot of work to be doing that.
Yeah, but you got to
focusing on them in time, and
there'll be busy months.
Probably lots of people coming
months.
in to see. Like, there's a lot of probably wasted time. You know what I'm saying?
You know what we'll do? We'll get Bunting in studio here at some point, and he can give us all the ins and outs.
Thing, yeah.
He's a big sports guy too, so
he'll crack the books.
Get Bunting on the Hangout. Put him on the list for the Hangout. We can figure out the bottom line of this. This will be good. All right, let's get into some free advice. You can text us 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. Dusty, would you trade Mike Evans for T. Higgins? Evans has had a really nice start to the year. Remember, 3 weeks in, T. Higgins would have been drafted significantly higher than Mike Evans. I'm not moving T. Higgins to get Mike Evans just yet, but I'm very encouraged if I did draft Mike Evans. Mike Evans was just traded in the league that Maddie and I are in together. It was like in a package deal. The Browns running back Ford was coming back the other way. I think I'd rather have Evans in that situation. It was a flip of Russell Wilson and Mac Jones, a real blah trade.
Let's ride.
Yeah. Guys, is Jared Goff a must start from week to week in a 1 QB league? Yeah, I mean, I'd put Jared Goff as a 9 to 12 in fantasy for sure. If you have Jared Goff, if you don't have anybody in the top 8, then you're starting Jared Goff this week. Jared Goff is surprisingly efficient. Like, Jared Goff, drafted where he was, right at the top, has taken a team to a Super Bowl. I love Matthew Stafford. Loved Matthew Stafford. Part of me thinks that Jared Goff gets as much stuff done in Detroit as Stafford did, really. So we'll see how that one plays out. This is an interesting one. This was a text earlier on today. My wife has been making me lunch for work for the last 6 weeks. She thinks she's putting me on a diet. I've just been eating out instead. Should I fess up or keep this ruse going? By the way, second ruse reference on the show today, which I like.
I'd keep it going. Keep the ruse going.
Okay, but at some
Try
point,
to keep the ruse going.
At some point, she's going to say, you've been eating nothing but salads and fruits for the last 6 weeks. Yet you're looking a little bit heavier.
Yeah, covered in
How
this.
are you supposed to? I don't know.
Mixed into that, it's part of a diet that you're on, right? Like, I've just been putting chocolate sauce all over everything. I don't know how this happened. You play the ignorant card. I think it'll get you.
That's how you get out of this one?
I didn't know. Was that wrong, right?
So you're saying keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then if you get called on it, play the ignorance
You're
card.
consuming the good stuff on top of some other stuff to make it taste better or whatever you do. And then go about whatever you were doing, eating the burritos and the...
Personally, I like the idea of like a chicken salad every single day, but I prefer it with like not much lettuce and stuff. I basically just want like a bowl of grilled chicken every day.
Well, just a full bird with a leaf to wrap, like a lettuce wrap.
Underneath
and you just put the bird on top.
You're talking like an oven roasted chicken.
The whole thing.
With a leaf on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or kale. Or
Parson's nose and all. Yeah, and one leaf as like a garnish.
One kale leaf is garnish.
Yeah, it's great.
That would work out okay.
Swimming in ranch.
Nathan McKinnon or Pasternak in fantasy hockey this year? I'd still go McKinnon. I'm a big McKinnon stan. Does Pasternak score 60 again this year? I just don't see it. So I'd probably go. They've lost some pieces in Boston. I'd go McKinnon. I could see why you would ask that. With that being said, I'd probably want to be in a league with you. Just because if you're taking Pasternak and leaving me McKinnon, I'm going to feel pretty darn good about it. Should I start Trevor Lawrence or Lamar Jackson this week? I put the Jags on the suspended list on the lock shop on Monday.
I'm surprised you're bringing this up.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was just kind of...
I'm going to go back to my guy. You can't bail on an investment this early. I finally finished watching The Big Short.
Bye.
And patience pays off in some situations. So I'm going to say you start Trevor Lawrence. Lamar has Cleveland, I think, this week. Going to be a low-scoring game. Trevor Lawrence gets Atlanta. Pretty nice matchup. Due for a big one. Starting Trevor Lawrence.
This is like Martin Prince yelling soy on the stock market floor there. Soy. And then congratulations, Martin. You just made this. And then bombs and sells out. I have this. This comes in anonymous. Sit 1. Austin Mack against Ottawa. Lucky Whitehead against Saskatchewan. Dalton Schoen against Toronto. Or Reggie Begelton against Hamilton.
That's my team. Is that your team? We basically have the exact same team.
The question was up there. I don't want to say who it's from.
I have all 4 of those guys as well. Name them again, because I got to make this. Now I have Hatcher as well. So
okay, sit 1.
Okay,
Austin Mack against Ottawa.
Okay.
Lucky Whitehead against the Riders. Okay. Dalton Schoen against Toronto, or Reggie Begelton against the Tiger Cats.
Schoen and Begelton are must starts.
Yes.
So then you're down to Mack versus Lucky.
I'm going Mack maybe. Hey?
I would probably. Who's Montreal get again?
The Ottawa.
One thing on Lucky Whitehead.
He's been playing well lately.
Rhymes is back. And how does that BC
Rhymes is back.
Are they going to try to feed him the ball? Are they going to?
Are you trying to help him win the league?
No, I'm throwing out actual just things for him to ponder.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I don't care either way.
You know, as the guy calling that game this weekend, I should have also pointed out that Rhymes is back. I got to dive into the prep still.
Well, we think he's back. Depth chart has to.
No, he's expected to be back. He's been practicing.
But it's not official until we see it. But that's the one thing you have to think about at the BC Lions is between Hatcher, between Whitehead, and between Rhymes. Who's getting the ball?
I'd start Mac.
Begelton, though, with that Calgary offense.
No matter what the Calgary, Begelton's the guy.
He's the guy.
I have sat Begelton more weeks than I have started him this year. Yeah. And while I've continued to win because of the incredible depth on my team, that's probably been my biggest mistake this year is not going to Reggie Begelton more. Yeah. So I'm definitely starting. I'm definitely starting Begelton.
Okay, well,
definitely starting Begelton this week. Question. Let's see. Here's one: Kyron Williams or Joe Mixon? I would go Kyron Williams this week. I don't know who this one comes in from, but I've just been promoted at work. But it involves a move to an office in a worse location and right next to a guy that I can't stand. Any advice on navigating this situation?
So he's moved to somebody like
he's got a promotion, but they've moved him to like a location. I guess that's not good, and he doesn't like the guy who's next to him.
the promotion, like I'm saying, like sabotage yourself, like just stink up the place in the middle of a movie. Like, do you lose the job based on location? Like, we can work we can work from home now. You can work on, it doesn't really matter where you are. Why does the location?
Are you actually in the office all the time?
More details on this, please.
Probably blowing this out of proportion a little bit. I'd say congratulations. Now, how big a promotion did you get? Did you get a promotion where you're now in a spot to call some shots? Where you say, actually, this isn't where my office is going to be. I'm going to move my office over here. Oh, and also, yada, 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 that guy's fired because I don't like him. I mean, you might be in that type of spot.
Bring in some fish for lunch, that's always an atomic weapon.
Let's see here. In a keeper hockey league, I have to decide between two of Pettersson, Hyman, and Bouchard. Stats are goals, assists, power play points, hits, shots, plus minus. Boy, does the Edmonton base show just automatically take Hyman and Bouchard? I'd probably go Petey and Bouchard as a valuable D-man, maybe. Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one. Saros, Skinner, Merzilkins are my goalies in my keeper league. Which two do you start? Saros and Skinner, I would think. D. White says, if your wife is putting you on a diet, you probably need to lose some weight anyway. That comes back around to the question earlier about the guy who's sneaking lunches, even though his wife's making him a healthy option. All right, there's your free advice today. We can always help you out, though. And, of course, who else can help you out? Damon Bunting. DamonBunting.com. If you're buying, if you're selling. Somebody said if you were to sell 2 to 3 houses, this was in the...
2 to 3 is like a...
I got...
3 in a good month. 2 in a
one house at $400,000 pays roughly $6,000 to $7,000 in commish. So 2 to 3 houses a month is pretty fast for one cat. Now, is that how they refer to each other?
Is that the line? Wow.
In the biz?
Industry lingo.
This guy is this is a cat who can move real estate, move in units.
If you're not, you've gone to the dogs, right? Like you kind of that's the little Brian down the way here. He's gonna not move to unit, going to the dogs.
I remember my buddy a couple of decades ago said not many would make the $1 million club for sales. That was the big deal, and that's only a couple of houses. So, yeah, but you can't be a realtor and sell 2 houses all year. You're not a realtor then.
I wouldn't think so.
I feel like I could try to help somebody sell 2 houses throughout a year.
Well, anybody can be one, right? And I don't mean to disparage realtors, but you can go through the course.
You got to have a specific set of skills.
You can be a realtor on the side. I think that's possible. I guess you could maybe if you have another job and.
I mean, if you're going to do anything well, you should be fully committed to it. Though,
But
you could
wear lots of hats.
You could be a half-ass realtor, which is the exact opposite of our guy, Damon Bunting. All right, on the way next, Eric Macramala is going to pop by. We're going to dive into Taylor Swift saving the National Football League. That's going to be happening. And then after 8 o'clock, 3 questions too many, kind of easy trivia. Dave Naylor is going to pop by for Pro-Am Sports. The Wrap. Weekly rankings of power we're going to get to today. Power. We've got so many things on the go. The third hour is going to be absolutely jammed. If you have a last-second Macramalla intro, fire those over to us right now, 780-218-9999. We'll run a few of those by him. But first, let's get to a sports update from Lieutenant Eric.
Toronto Blue Jays dropping one last night to the Yankees 2-0. It was the opener of a 3-game series down in Toronto. The Jays remain a game and a half up on Houston for that second wildcard spot. Astros are in Seattle tonight to play the rubber match of a 3-game set with the Mariners. Elsewhere last night, the Phillies, they're back in the postseason following a 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. Oilers back in preseason action tonight when they welcome in the Canucks. Edmonton Sports Talk's Tom Gazzola have more on tonight's roster following the morning skate later on this morning. Canada's women's soccer team, they're heading back to the Olympics. 10th-ranked Canadians knocking off number 37 Jamaica last night 2-1. They take the two-legged affair 4-1 on aggregate, earning the last CONCACAF entry into the 12-country field for the 2024 Paris Games. Sports Update is brought to you by Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. Mitch does not lose contests, he wins them, or he quits them, because they're unfair.
Oh my God.
Why am I looking at that?
Wait, why are you slowing down? Frank, no way. Frank?
Hey, honey. Hey!
What on earth are you doing?
We're streaking! We're going up through the quad to the gymnasium.
Who's streaking?
There's more coming.
Frank, get in the car.
Everybody's doing.
Now.
Okay.
Lease the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90 inline-6 turbo or plug-in hybrid to have room for absolutely everybody with its third row seating. Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
The Lock Shop.
I'm a Minshew guy. I think Minshew, like at least right now in these games, actually probably makes them a little bit more competitive. Indy +8 with Minshew might be a play for yours truly.
I like you riding Minshew, buddy. I back on our old show, we were huge Gardner Minshew guys. So Minshew's just steady. There's nothing spectacular about him, but he can manage teams to victories.
The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast, located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio, Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
All right, welcome back to the Nielson Show, 747. I went and took a piss, managed to sneak it in, made it back, worked out extremely well. We were thinking though, like in this, we got like a closet right next to us here. Maybe we just install a toilet right here, or a pee bucket even, right inside here.
I wouldn't be opposed to just a long tube.
A long
that kind of goes down slowly, so you kind of go over the toilet over there.
It
just
cuts across the open kitchen area.
Yeah. Well, it's like a. Oh, look, somebody's going again.
That would be pretty good. Guys, the Flames window is like a frozen school bus window when you were a kid. Needs lots of effort, but in the end, you just give up and leave it. Remember when you get on the
the funnest part of it all is just drawing on it.
Just drawing on it and say, the Flames window just says people drawing Oilers pictures on it. That works out pretty good.
But a clear road to text of the day through that.
I mean, the
Macramalla intro is great too, but today for that Flames
a couple
window,
of options here. Yeah, Flames window or Macramalla.
Somebody texted in a wall. I mean, just a white
it's,
wall.
It's
I
a
mean,
wall. Yeah, you can't do anything there. All right, we do have some Macramalla intros, but let's bring in the man himself, and we'll run through these here. Macramalla, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
My man, I am doing well. I'm having my Montreal Canadiens cup of coffee here. My Carey Price mug.
Carey Price mug.
Children.
Nice.
I've also adjusted my levels, so hopefully it won't be scratchy. And today I'll try and look directly into the camera because I tend to dip my head sometimes because I'm so involved in myself. I love myself so much. I don't really care who I'm talking to. So I don't make eye contact because to make eye contact with others who are not as rich as me diminishes me.
I like that you went back. I like that you went back and air checked your own stuff. Well done, sir.
I remember when I entered the business, because I'm in the business as you guys are.
Yeah,
in the
just
business.
like us.
When I entered the business, I listened to all my stuff and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm crap. And I didn't enjoy listening to it, but that was a way to grow. But the part that's fascinating is I didn't grow.
I like at our old place, our old boss, not our boss that was there when we got let go, but our old boss. He was busy. Like they were running 2 FM stations. Our station was a little bit of an afterthought sometimes. The one air check. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever told this. The one time he air checked us, he came in. I had my son on the radio, and he was 3 years old, and it was a pretty popular. It was a fun little segment. He had some good stuff, but he comes in after. The only advice he gave us in like 10 years, he goes, "Hey, just tighten it up a bit with Marshall. There's some open spaces there." I was just like, he's 3 years old. What are you talking about? Tighten it up with a 3-year? He's a toddler.
Well, I remember listening to that clip. And Marshall, if you're listening, you sucked. I once.
Oh, that's too good. Eric Macramala with us on the show. Let's get to a couple.
I once. Well, it's great to be here. It's great to have me. I had my show, my son Daniel, on my show offside that you never listened to, but was on the old station forever, and it's going on 12 years. I don't know how it's 12 years because nobody listens, right?
Yeah.
But he was on when he was 5, and because my children are clearly superior, he was fantastic. He was my best guest ever. Although I told him, I made a list next morning of all the ways he disappointed me during the interview. Right? Because as I tell parents, as I evaluate their kids and get them ready for youth hockey and did so for baseball, is the way they say, how do I make my kids as good at sports that your kids are? How do I get them as good as your? It's very simple. Make your kids understand one thing, that your love is conditional and you're hard to please. Your kids will work harder than they ever have.
Let's get to a couple intros here. Of course, Macramalla brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Eric Macramala, EST legal analyst and guy who didn't have one single person show up to his orgy, but he went ahead with it anyway. Went ahead with it anyway because you're not a quitter, right, Eric? You're not a quitter.
You made all that food.
Table for one, non-smoking. That is gold. It's not. Is it still an orgy if you call it an orgy but you're alone?
I think you can label that time whatever you want to label that time as.
I think nowadays you can call anything whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the solo orgy. That's a thing now. EST legal analyst and guy who lost a small fortune on a failed half-ice adult hockey league, Eric Macramalla.
Well, I saw it in novice. It makes perfect sense.
This really works. Look how many puck touches these guys get, right?
And why are we going 6-on-6? There's just no room. Look, you guys, it's all about, like Marty St. Louis says, because his team sucks, all about small area games, right? You gotta get good in small areas. So really what I'm doing is I'm trying to make them better hockey players, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're trying to do. EST legal analyst and guy who tries to sell bootleg copies of The Goonies while wearing a trench coat.
Oh,
which are like
with Corey
inside.
Feldman.
Don't bring it up.
Was in The Goonies.
He's never seen The Goonies, and neither has Matt. So
don't bring it up because the spoiler alert.
No, you
Every
can
5
spoil
minutes,
it.
They were surprised by something.
Yeah.
How have you not seen The Goonies? What the hell is wrong with you, Lieutenant Eric? And EST, is that Eastern Standard Time? Is that what you keep saying, EST?
Yeah, I've just never seen it. I don't have the time. Why would I see it now?
You have the time.
Well, I don't have. Why would I sit down now willingly? Why would I carve out time to watch a children's movie from the 80s? There's no point. There's no driver getting me there. I don't need to. I've heard it all now. I've heard the whole movie. You told me the whole movie multiple times. It's no point.
Sean Astin's in it. Corey Feldman from the two Corys.
You just moved the needle.
Sean Astin is in it, isn't he?
You love Sean Astin.
I kind of have a sweet spot for him. Yeah,
buddy. This is prime Sean Astin.
This is when he was in his good years.
Yeah, buddy.
Arguably, they're all good years. I guess
he's a star of the show.
Yeah,
he's a star of the show. All right, let's get to one more from Strummy. It's on the Nasty Chat this morning. EST, Edmonton Sports Talk legal analyst, and guy who's only coaching his kids' teams so they know he'll swear at other kids too. Eric Macramala, which is a good one. Good one as well. I know you do baseball. You coach hockey too, or is it?
I do. I do the sort outs, right? So I convene. So I evaluate with my buddy Mike.
Oh boy, you're an evaluator.
Evaluate all the kids, and then I started helping for U9. And what's interesting is you need to wear a bulletproof vest when you do evaluations because parents are going to try and kill you while you do the evaluations. And I understand why that is. I put all 700 kids in C. Is that a problem? and I renamed it D because your kids are so bad at hockey. Yeah, they say, why do you keep yelling "you suck" as the kids skate by? Like that's part of the evaluation process. I want to see if they're resilient.
How can they handle that?
I want to see if a 6.5-year-old can really get through it, if he can fight his way to success. I'm here to teach. I'm a teacher, right? That's what I do.
Conditional love.
Yeah, I'm coaching U9 and U7 as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So you got Marshall
and
at U9.
Yeah,
right?
and then Elizabeth U7.
Daughter.
But Elizabeth's out 6 to 8 weeks because she broke her arm yesterday. So
no, what happened?
Yeah, she fell at school. We were at like emergency for like 6 hours yesterday, so she got a huge pink cast on now. So, but she's tough.
That, man.
She's tough. I want to run her out there for the first skate this weekend with like everything on this arm cut off, so no jersey, no shoulder pad, just the cast, just to show other kids what's up. I think that'd be a great way to intimidate.
Oh, I love that. And no hockey stick. You use the cast as the stick.
As the stick. Hey, we always say the National Football League is just the biggest thing going. So where do you come out on the Taylor Swift bump for the National Football League? Like, ratings were through the roof. Kelsey jersey sales have gone up by like 400%. Every single his Instagram went up by 400,000 people.
Who needs two more
here?
This
is insane, isn't it?
It is. The thing about Taylor Swift is I look at her all the time and I'm like, I'm trying to find you good looking. I am. You check all the boxes. Blonde hair, high cheekbones, little nose, small chin, right? But I can't. I don't know what it is about her. I'm not drawn to her like I'm drawn to Maria Menounos from E.T. and Access Hollywood. She's stunning. Or Ashley Judd in her prime. I want to find her good looking for the sake of Kelsey, but I can't. But I think I guess it's something. I'm gonna say it's good, but I couldn't really it's fun. But it's finally Patrick Mahomes has been upstaged by someone, and that someone is Taylor Swift. Now, I think they're hamming it up a little bit, obviously, right? Because he came dressed in one of those clothes that were related to her, whatever her fashion, whatever it was. But I do think there's a genuine interest there, and I think we're not too far away from seeing Taylor Swift as the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
Who do you think? So I guess I would know your answer.
Shake it off.
Yeah. Lieutenant Eric, who do you think is the hot one in the relationship? There's always this judging of because I mean Travis Kelsey. I actually find I think Taylor Swift's super cute. Kelsey's a pretty well put together dude.
He's a stud. He's a stud. Yeah, stud.
Very handsome.
I'm torn on this one.
I feel as though Taylor is selling out all of her concerts.
Oh, it's a beast. You can't even get a ticket.
Yeah. No. But no, I think it depends who you ask. If you have sports fans, they'll side with Kelsey because he's a total stud. He's the kind of guy that women love and guys want to be friends with. He's the Kevin Costner of the NFL.
It's the Kevin Costner of the NFL. The one, all that stuff that we listed off about, like the bumps here, bumps there. The one that kind of blows my mind a little bit is that Chiefs ticket sales are through the roof because he's dating Taylor Swift now, which means just a bunch of Swifties are buying tickets to go to the Chiefs game just in case she's up in a suite and they can't even see her anyway.
In the middle of a dynasty, though. In the middle of a dynasty.
Yeah, the Chiefs are the best football team we've seen in a long time, and all of a sudden tickets get a bump because Taylor Swift might be at the game. That's superstar power, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, but it reminds us, doesn't it, that sports is a bit more niche than we think. If you go to
an Oilers
game, right?
Yeah.
If you go to an Oilers game, I don't know let's say it's 19,000 fans are there. Maybe 10% maybe 12.8, as high as 12.8% of the fans are sports fans. And then you have hockey fans, and then you just have fans of the Oilers. People are just fans of the Oilers, not necessarily sports fans. They make up the majority of the fan base, right?
The hardcores, right?
Guys like us that have 27 podcasts, including The Hindu Law of Marriage by Dustin Nielson, they represent a small slice of the fandom. Really, very small. Marty San Luis, small, tiny.
Tiny little guy.
Harry Price mug.
Yeah, there we go.
So cute.
You know what? We'll get.
I once bumped into him in an elevator. The year he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. Right, Brian Burke. I used to speak at his conference, and he would invite me to the Hall of Fame induction part upstairs. So the upstairs is 220 people or so, 250 people, and that's just by invitation only. It's all media, right? So I'm sitting every year with Brian on these really uncomfortable wooden chairs. He would leave halfway through, which I thought was the most hysterical thing in the world. And so everyone stays at the Westin Hotel. And that's where I stay because I spoke at his conference, and that's where he put me up. And I get in the elevator, and Marty comes in, and it's just me and Marty San Luis. And first, I'm like, "Oh, you're not old. You're not tall enough to ride the elevator." Not funny. And then I say, "Oh, yeah, he was holding a racket. He was going to play squash." And I remember he was wearing these little shorts, like these little Daisy Dukes, which is also kind of weird, right? But the size of his legs was jarring. I mean, you understand his success. There's a difference between short hockey players and small players, right? Marty St. Louis was short, but he's not small. Each leg, I think, weighed 400 pounds. I will never. His muscles and his legs had muscles on top of them. It was insane. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. I signed an autograph and I left.
Eric Macramala. Buddy, as always, man, maybe we'll dive into the Habs a little bit next week when you have you on. How's that sound?
Yeah. I got this entire, my team of writers behind the screen are irate because I like to move quickly and they got to feed me the jokes and they feel like they're underpaid. So they're going to go on strike. So next week, it's going to be very pedestrian, very mundane. We'll talk about bread. If that's okay.
All right.
I love you guys.
Talk to you later, man.
I love you guys
you
more than Marty St. Louis' left leg. Take care.
See you later. There you go. That is Eric Macramala. I mean, the game has changed with Macramala on video. Has it not?
This is number 2 episode that he's been on the
How
video.
much better is this than before?
Well, even from the first to the second, as he said, he's heard the audio, he's fixed that, he's kind of framed himself up nice now. I look forward to more like people popping up in the background and sports memorabilia and that stuff. Like he'll really make this thing go, I think.
No, it's going to be excellent. Dave Naylor is going to pop by here around 8:25. We'll set up a week in the Canadian Football League. Talk a little bit about a one division league. We'll get into that a little bit. Toronto sitting a bunch of guys already because they've done what they needed to do. They've wrapped up first in the East. So we'll get into that conversation coming up here as well. 3 questions too many just after 8 o'clock today. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power in the third hour of the show. She's a jam-packed show. Tell your friends the Nielson Show is back on Edmonton Sports Talk. Just go to edmontonsportstalk.com. You can watch live. You can listen live. You can text us in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999, which is where we need you to text right now if you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia this morning and get your hands on a gift certificate from Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. 780-218-9999. If you'd like to play today, just text in and say, "Hey, Maddie, pick me. I'd like to play Kind of Easy Trivia today." And we'll pick one of you, and we will play to kick off hour number 3 as well. And like we said, don't go anywhere. This third hour is going to be slammed as we continue to provide you with a little entertaining morning sports talk here in Edmonton.
2 guys and a goalie.
Babcock's gone. The Blue Jackets had an availability. They made a major mistake. Cash, your thoughts on how this looks on that organization?
Out of all the hires, this is the one that we felt was going to make us the best. Quite clearly, it was not.
It's just a weird kind of thing to do, to ask someone to look at their phone and the pictures on their phone. If you think by seeing a photo you're going to learn a lot about a person, then follow them on social media. I'm sure if Mike Babcock requested to follow a few members of his Columbus Blue Jackets, what he did was wrong. He hasn't changed a bit.
2 guys and a goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielsen. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey. Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for the Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast, located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show, featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.806 with the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. A little country jingle gets us pumped to announce that we did drop a new episode of the Achy Breaky podcast yesterday.
Yeah, and a wild one at that. There was some intruders on the ranch. It felt like we may have to take some of them to the train station. Hey, you and I in the barn, and all of a sudden out the barn window, there are these,
Did you tell Maddie about this?
Well, but they were all, when you left, they were up.
I heard them walk when I was running out of here yesterday.
Drilling things. And
so are those got to be the security guys, eh?
Well, we think it was maybe a signage or some sort of sign, maybe security, maybe sign.
I don't know. I know they're putting in security.
They looked serious enough that it was security. It didn't look like a.
Anyway,
I didn't see the dream team from William Huff out there.
If you have not yet subscribed to the Achy Breaky podcast, you're going to want to do that. It's twice a month, brought to you by River Cree Resort and Two Hoots Hard Iced Tea. And we drove into and it's 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes on one country song from the 90s. We hit up Travis Tritt's Trouble.
Elvis Presley's Trouble, which
very
is covered
confusing.
You're throwing for a loop.
I was really rattled by this. You'll find out more on the most recent episode of the Achy Breaky podcast. We got lots coming up here. Dave Naylor is going to pop by for Pro-Am Sports, where you can get all your new Heritage Classic gear. Those jerseys are ready to go. Get them online. Get them in store at Pro-Am Sports. Just one block north of the Yellowhead. Right by the Arby's is how they should do it. Across the street, kitty corner, kind of from where that Arby's is. You know what I'm talking about. Weekly rankings of power. That's coming up today. The wrap for William Huff. Coolbet hotlines. My goodness, we got a jam-packed show. We should get moving here. Let's get into a little kind of easy trivia today for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. The casualest place ever. The sirloin bites are to absolutely die for. They come with this beautiful little dip.
Menopause Nick, I know it's somebody's birthday today, as we said.
Menopause Nick, if you don't take your wife,
was it 25? That's a pretty momentous. Like it's 20. It's a quarter
birthday,
century there.
It's a big one. There better be some Mr. Mike's for dinner tonight.
It's a Mr. Mike's night. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do that
both do both.
Casualest place ever. Great place to celebrate your wife's 25th birthday, Nick. So do that. Colton is going to play today. Needs to get 3 of the 5 questions correct, and he will win that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. Let's bring in Colton today. Colton, you ready to play, bud?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I will start the ticker after I read the first question. All right. Here we go. Good luck, my man. Did the Blue Jays win yesterday?
No.
Who do the Oilers play tonight?
Canucks.
Name one forward on the Canucks.
Patterson.
What sport does Damian Lillard play?
Basketball.
Which city is home to the NBA's Trail Blazers?
Fort Worth.
No! Oh, my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment. Totally. People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Wednesday morning, Clubby Lou provided by Colton.
Professional job.
Today. He stepped in.
In and out.
Got it done. Mr. Mike's to Colton right now.
No clowning around.
You're going to live with me now. Yeah, I'm going to take care of you. Because I love you.
I love you, Chunk.
Oh, I love you, Sloth.
Man, I'm still waiting for my Chunk Heart Sloth Goonies t-shirt.
Yes.
It's been a while. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I shouldn't be ordering t-shirts from sketchy online teacher shops.
It's a dicey game to play, hey?
It is.
Like
It's hit and miss. I got that great Point Break shirt from the same place, but this Goonies shirt hasn't rolled in yet.
You got to have a backer here in town. You can kind of
unless it did roll in, and my wife is hiding it from me. Maybe she's saving it for a Christmas treat.
Yeah, but then now you're scrambling, trying to track the shirt down. And
I know that'd be a real mean thing to do.
A weird way of.
Yeah.
But you love a surprise.
Yeah, I do love a good
You're
surprise.
a sucker for surprise.
I do. Not the surprise we got yesterday. My daughter, the Muzz, Elizabeth, broke her arm at school yesterday. I did in the 6 o'clock hour, but a huge shout out to everybody at the Stollery. We were there for like 5-6 hours, moved her through, got the x-ray, put her out, put the arm back in place, gave her a cast, and we were home by about 5:30 yesterday afternoon. So, but just a huge thanks. We always say, Stollery, it's great to have, but for those of us who haven't had to take our children there yet, I finally got to experience that yesterday, and shout out to the Stollery. Fabulous place taking care of your kids.
And I would assume, again, being a doctor and working on children is not the easiest thing, but then to do that every single day, all day, and remain in the calm fashion to put you in a place of calm, and that's the heroic stuff kind of going above and beyond.
Maybe we'll have the Muzz pop by in the 8 o'clock hour sometime this week, and you can sign her.
Get her in the hangout.
On the show.
Get her in the
hangout.
hangout.
Get the Muzz in the hangout. She's not doing anything for the. She's not going back to
swallowed
school
in
until
those
like next week.
chairs.
I
I
think.
love it,
All right, let's get into 3 questions too many. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment today?
Yes, I do. 3 questions too many. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki, where they are disappointed that they don't make the ESPN list of the 3-year rankings. I mean, the list was wild enough. You could kind of put them there, slot them down right on bottom 5 or something like that.
Should have been higher than Chicago.
Well, again, Columbus. But anyways, that's the power of the list.
Yeah, visit them. Your dealer for life.
Yeah.
At Park Mazda. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow on Twitter. And at Edmonton Sports Talk, our Twitter account at YEG Sports Talk. Give us a follow on Twitter and on the Instagram at Edmonton Sports Talk.
Oh, there's so many different things to follow now.
TikTok as well.
But TikTok, is it Yag or Edmonton? I think it's
TikToking.
It's Edmonton Sports Talk.
Search it up.
YouTube Trev is apparently healthy again today, so we'll be TikToking like crazy. We're actually going down to Alley Cat today to put together our video. We're going to go do some taste testing at Alley Cat today. Myself, the whole crew, all 5 of us will go down. Scott's going to meet us there from Sobeys.
I'm envisioning like a Willy Wonka style. I want to be going down big slides and kind of.
I'm going to ask Cam at Alley Cat when we get down. Excuse me, Cam. We're looking here and we don't see any Oompa Loompas anywhere. Who is actually producing these fine beverages like the apricots and the main squeezes that you're rolling out
Put these on and follow me. And then
we are allowing you to name this beer with us. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Had a lot of good suggestions so far. There's 2 that we're locking into. We're going to probably get it to 5 names that we can kind of debate and break down here.
Maybe, dare I say, bracket.
Oh,
I had to bring that up.
So far, we like the 6 o'clocker lager and the What Say Brew. But there's been a lot of good names. Somebody was saying, guys, you got to call it the conch. And then you tell your buddy, hey, man, conch me. Conch me. Throw me a conch me.
It's nice and clean. It's just that. And it is unique to us in a way.
The conch?
But it's and if you didn't know, you'd be like, what is that?
Pick up a 6-pack of the conch. Pick up a 6-pack, a 4-pack tall boys. That's what they're going to be. Give me a 4 boys of, or tall boys of
the conch.
Of the conch. I don't know. Pick me up a case of the 6 o'clocker lager. Like that has a nice ring to it. But I know there's going to be more names that pop up. We're doing the naming contest until the end of next week.
Get the brain going here, yeah.
And watch for that video after we get down there today for the testing. I hope we all come to an agreement on one lager. That's going to suck if you want one lager, I want a different lager. We have to pour multiple lagers together. It's almost like science class maybe when you've got what's it, your Bunsen burner? Yeah, and then you're pouring things into the Bunsen burner. That's good. I like that. Anyway, if you have any suggested names for the beer, nasty chat. And then
could be our last brewery tour.
We're probably not going to be allowed to do another one, I think. Question number 1. This is a good one. Boys, I want to believe in true love. But if you had to guess who's using who more, is it Kelsey or Swift?
It's, again, it gets lost in the conversation here. This is a dynasty. We're witnessing a dynasty, right? In the Chiefs right now. And we're like, they're selling more tickets or whatever. What do you mean? I know it's sports. And as Macramalla said, it's kind of niche. But, I mean, how much... So they are getting Swifties... but are they gonna once she's are they gonna get married here and have a family? How long is this gonna last? Once she's eventually done, right? I mean, then
they're not gonna get married.
They're not Chiefs fans for life here, right? They're not.
No,
this is just another.
So that's what that's the guy's asking. Who's using who?
I think Swift is using this more to kind of open her fan base into getting the sports stuff. Sports guy, right? Sports guy or gal. Very, very tough nut to crack, right? They don't change all that stuff. No, I'm in. And now that the boy Kelsey is, and who every sports fan wants to either date or be friends with, now that he's with her, you kind of have to.
I liked Hustler's theory on this. Actually, Hustler from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Make sure you sub to their YouTube channel. They're almost at 10,000 subs.
Is it the Broncos tie-in again that he had on the weekend?
No, this was a
great play.
Taylor Swift is using Travis Kelsey to get to Patrick Mahomes. And in the end, Taylor Swift is going to destroy the entire franchise because she's going to, and look, Mahomes is married. His wife seems a little loony, kind of like the brother a little bit.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
So Huss is very afraid that she puts a wedge between Mahomes and Kelsey and tears the entire franchise
apart.
And
then in a week's time, she's getting put through a table at a Bills game. Yeah, just spraying mustard all over her face. It's all a Bills. It's Bill's hit job. It's a hit job.
It's another ruse. This is the third mention of a ruse on the show today.
I'm there for that. If you want to open this thing up and then she's wearing other teams' merch next week.
That'd be good.
In a faint attempt, I am all for it. More wrestling.
Sparky G is in and says, Swifty's playing 5D chess right now. The girl is planning an album 3 years away and just leaving Easter eggs everywhere. Clever move.
Does he appear on the album? When that featuring Travis Kelsey. And he just busts in with a rap.
But it was made when they were in love. But she has the rights to it, so she put it out after.
Yes.
I like that one.
I'm here for the collab.
Question 2. If the Oilers offense struggles again If the Oilers offense struggles again tonight, would you guys start to get a bit nervous?
Question 3.
Don't even nod your head, Maddie.
Wow. Blow it up. Yeah. Blow it up. Fire people. Make trades. Blow it up.
The ESPN ranking wouldn't be so absurd.
I think it's almost too high. It's almost, if they don't win tonight, it's almost the ESPN was generous to the Oilers.
Very generous, yes.
They should be lower.
We should be thanking ESPN for such a... Yeah, question
This
3.
is a must-win game this season.
Got to have it tonight.
Like, this is the first must-win game.
If this preseason is going to matter to you in any way, this game has to be won tonight. They could somehow lose 5 to -2 tonight, and I wouldn't care.
No,
I wouldn't care.
Nor should you.
No. So this preseason, like, you think the preseason means nothing at the best of times? This preseason means less than that. Absolutely nothing. As long as this team comes out of preseason healthy, this was a huge success. Huge success for the Oilers. So, no. Nobody in the world, on the planet, in the universe, is going to be a bit nervous if they have trouble offensively tonight.
Unless you're one of those guys looking to break through and get a job.
You just can't.
I mean, I like how we're kind of, like, there are guys legit trying to kind of play for
There's
something.
really
I
not.
mean,
Like, there's one guy trying to make this team.
But to, like, kind of elevate yourself higher within the total organizational picture, right? I mean,
I honestly
it's
don't even
small
think
steps.
that's possible here.
Yeah.
It's
They're just
Raphael
going through the
Lavoie,
steps here,
Peterson,
yeah,
or
yeah.
Sutter who are going to get a job. So best of luck to those 3 guys. Everything else is locked in.
Can't you just send a little letter, like a forfeit? Just kind of.
I'm sorry to be major preseason buzzkill guy, but it just, I don't.
No injuries, right? That's what you're like. Just keep
be
it
healthy.
simple. Keep it.
How could you be a buzzkill in preseason?
I just did it.
But you can't. Like,
I
it's-
just
There's
buzzkilled
no
preseason.
buzz to kill, though.
That's exactly
You're
it.
not.
It's preseason.
You're picking root
It has
vegetables
nothing
here.
But some people get fired up for preseason.
Well, people travel a lot of time. Maybe this is the only game they can get to. And they come here and they spend their
I mean,
money.
if you're traveling from out of
preseason
town and this is the only game you get to, that's bad planning.
There's scheduling in for people. Maybe the price point. Like, I don't want to.
The thing, it's just in the end, this is what preseason is, and you have to accept that. Like, you could want to watch hockey, you could enjoy it, all
that's
that,
fine.
great. But you can't expect more from preseason, and you can't expect that this is going to have meaningful impact for the regular season. Otherwise, my Baltimore Ravens would have won the Super Bowl many times these last few years.
Yeah, instead they suck.
You're in a dynasty, a preseason dynasty of sorts.
Well, it's over now.
It's over now.
But 25 straight.
You've been living large.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's a great run.
You should
That's
almost have a
great
banner
preseason run.
with some sort of half banner.
Yeah. Question number 3. Oh, this leads to a good debate here. What is the maximum number of teams you think the CFL could handle long term? All right, we talk about getting the 10th. Could they take it up to 12?
Well, could based on. I mean, I like take it up to. Why stop anywhere? I guess. What do we?
I know, but you get to some point where you're like, okay, you've kind of weakened everything now. It's gotten too big.
There's so much football. There's lots of college football. Like, I mean, to get them all to play is a different thing.
There's a lot of players.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it shouldn't be a
this,
shortage of
Atlantic
players.
team, right?
Atlantic
People will argue for another team in Saskatchewan.
No,
Maybe
that's never going to happen.
No, I know, but you could.
You could argue.
You could-
Nah,
No,
that'd be tough.
if we're at, you're going to add Quebec,
Quebec?
City, you're going to add a
Out east.
Maritime
Where's the
team.
other one go?
You put
If you're
interior
getting to 12.
BC.
Move Toronto to
Like
Markham.
Interior BC?
Kelowna, Penticton, or
Yeah,
something.
that's one.
They
You
have
think
nothing
that?
else.
You think? Yeah, that's
Right at
that's
that
a good
time of
point.
year,
They
like-
have nothing else.
And if this league is now a 20 to a 25,000 seat stadium, they could probably do 20.
Oh, you
Maybe
could do 18 to 20.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the potential of. So we've added 3 teams. You need to have one more.
East-
I think
East for sure,
potentially it'd be
Quebec for
Victoria.
sure.
Victoria would be the only other place that you're talking
When does
about.
North Dakota get
I
one?
think I'd probably go interior BC over Victoria.
But you need to get another. You need 4 teams.
No, you need 3 teams
Oh, you're right.
to get
yes.
to 12,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you go
3.
Quebec, you
And
go
yes,
out east,
so
and
that's
then
it.
I guess you go interior
And
BC.
then I think that's it for Canada. And then it comes.
Whoa, careful.
No, I'm serious.
Could you-
America 2.0. You got
could you
Washington,
start-
Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota.
Could you start branching into there? And
That's,
start
we have
throwing a couple of
territorial
those?
rights in those
U.S.
locales.
division.
But a real U.S. Not going down to SEC country.
You're not
Like,
traveling
that's-
too far.
No.
The Montana players usually
Like, give
come up
them
here.
something from a professional
They
sports
know it.
team.
They know what's going on, and nobody else wants to give them time.
Yeah.
It's a quick trip across the border. Travel would work. I'm here for it.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Good question, though. Thank you very much.
But they have
for
to
that.
keep all the old names, like the Minot Mad Dogs, and you go on like that, right?
You make something like that work. 3 questions brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. We got Coolbet hotline of the day still to come. The wrap for William Huff still to come. Dave Naylor's going to join us for Pro-Am coming up next. By the way, Pro-Am opening early today. They're already open. They opened at 8 o'clock this morning because they're moving Heritage Classic jerseys. If you want to go pick one up, go see the crew at Pro-Am.
It is preseason game day as well, so
Well,
don't
exactly.
they like to get a jump on that one.
I think it's probably for the Heritage jerseys.
yeah, probably.
But they I mean, I think they look nice. They're going to move. If you want to get one, proamsports.ca, or swing by because they're never open this early. Right? They're open this early today. Special day. And we got the weekly rankings of power. That's going to be happening coming up here as well. So we've got jam-packed show the rest of the way. Hangout today. The man, the myth, the legend, Hernan Salas is going to be in today. This guy's been here. This will be 3 days in a row for Nanso.
Who's he, Will Fraser?
He brought in Trey Ford and Gavin Cobb. Yesterday, he brought us in Dean Faithful. If you missed the Dean Faithful chat yesterday,
that was fun.
It was amazing.
It was
awesome stuff. And now Hernan's bringing himself in. And he's bringing somebody else on the Hangout today too, right? Who they got?
Evan Jones, who's
EJ
he's
from
the other Evan with the team. The other Evan.
The other Evan.
With the Edmonton Elks. He'll be by.
Not to be confused with the legend Evan Dom.
There's Dahmer and then there's EJ. EJ is coming in. And then for an hour later in the Hangout, Scout from the Elks call. A friend of EST will be by.
All right, perfect. So there you go. We got lots going on in the Hangout today. Lock Shop at 11 and Oil Stream, Game Day Oil Stream coming up at noon today if Tommy Gazzola does show his face. Let's get to an update with Lieutenant Eric.
Preseason game day for the Edmonton Oilers. They're back in action tonight at home to the Canucks after suffering back-to-back losses to the Jets. Yesterday, Brady Stonehouse sent back to Ottawa after being up here for development camp and rookie camp. Edmonton Sports Talk's Tom Gazzola. He'll have more on tonight's roster following the morning skate today and during today's Oilers stream. Austin Wells with a 2-run homer in the ninth, powering the Yankees over the Jays 2-0 last night. Toronto remain a game and a half up on Houston for that second wild card spot entering play today. The Astros are in Seattle this evening to play the rubber match of their 3-game set with the Mariners. Elsewhere last night, the Phillies clinched a postseason berth with a 3-2 win over the Pirates. Canada's women's soccer team, they're heading back to the Olympics. The 10th Red Canadians beat Jamaica 2-1 last night and 4-1 on aggregate to earn the last CONCACAF entry into the 12-team tournament for the 2024 Paris Games.
The EST Hangout.
Manawanek, Tom Gazzola. As well as we got Min Darwal from CBC and Doug McLean, Golden Bears Pandas analyst, along with the Stingers.
I think the older this kid gets,
Connor?
you're starting to see glimpses of what we're not privy to inside that room.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, now we're starting to see these guys put a stamp on this team. I think that culture that they're creating, instead of having it top down where it has a trickle-down effect, I think it's working both ways where it kind of dictates what happens with the executive and the hockey side of the front office.
EST Hangout, weekday mornings at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.28 on a Wednesday morning. We've got Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power coming up here around 8:45 today. The wrap for William Huff still to come. Dave Naylor's going to pop by right away, and that will be for Pro-Am Sports, where they do have the Heritage Classic jerseys available, and they are open early today. So more on that here in just a moment. They're open already, so if you're, it's nice to get that pre-work stop at Pro-Am today. Lucky. Let's get your Coolbet hotlines of the day. If you were not yet aware, Coolbet's a big part of what we're going on here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Toronto Blue Jays let us down yesterday. We got really, I think it was more an anti-Yankee play with Matty Wanek yesterday being like, Yankees sucks. We're like, Blue Jays, -1.5. And the Blue Jays end up losing that football game or baseball game. But let's do this. Do we go back? Do we go back to the well with the Toronto Blue Jays today?
They have to take 2 of 3 against the Yankees.
I would think there's a bounce back here today against the Yankees.
Yeah.
Nasty chat, where are you at? Should we get on the Jays here at -115 today? We'll have more on this on the Lock Shop, obviously, as we work our way through the day. Oh, I think Naylor's on his phone. Or he's trying to connect. Can you text Dave? Text Naylor. Because he's trying to connect on his iPhone, but he doesn't have that Wirecast Go app. Yeah, just tell him. I can tell him to download Wirecast Go. We can do that. That's one thing we can do actually moving forward. We could have everybody download Wirecast Go and then just send them the link and people would just hop on the video. You know? No, like it's like fans and listeners. Just be like, hey, here's the link. Hop in. I'll tell him to do that. Or you can just call him.
Hey, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You just tell that, Dave, you can do whatever you want.
That'll work out.
You just sit there.
That'll work out okay. Yeah. We got time. We'll get him in. That's one of the best things we got, though. We can do whatever we want. It's just really fun. Really fun. All right. What does he see here? Pat says, nope. Jays will choke. They are good at that. Big Maple Sports says, I hit on the UFC picks last night. Great money up this weekend.
Coolbet had a curling tweet out the other day as well. They were getting into that. They
big time curling. They got some curling partners and stuff for sure. Huss is the foremost leader in curling betting in this country.
And during the times you would not expect to have a curling bet or a prop bet, he's got them. He's got them.
Filthy says, nope, Jays are going to screw themselves over when they're this close to the finish line. G-Sky says, Garrett Cole is pitching today. Jays bet is not a good one. Well, look, if everybody's hesitant on the Toronto Blue Jays, do we fade the Jays today?
Gosman against King, so you would suggest that. So if doing the opposite is right, like, you get the tuna on rye tonight with going against Garrett Cole. I don't know.
It feels so bad.
I know. They need it, right? Like they need.
All right, you know what? Let's fade the Jays. That way, if they lose tonight, we're making money off it. If they win, the Jays one step closer to the postseason. New York Yankees +102. Coolbet hotline of the day. Don't you dare shake your fist at us, Wanek. These guys are awful. They can't beat anybody.
It's the old rope-a-dope, eh?
Now here we are 24 hours later trying to get on the Yankees at +102. Fingers crossed. We'll see how this works out, but that is your Coolbet hotline of the day. And if you go to coolbet.com right now, you can click on NHL and get in on a bunch of different future player props. You can also bet NHL preseason. Bonus line for the preseason. Edmonton Oilers are -333. Not worth it. Not worth it on that. You could parlay that into something. Total in that game is set at 6.5, and Edmonton is -1.5 at -137. So if I haven't got to that level yet. of being
Yet.
and I mean, yet is probably a reasonable way to go
You
about
match up a nice preseason like that with a couple cracks or packs crack, that type of thing. You can kind of parlay into a night, and then then you'll be betting on every preseason game. Yeah, you know what I mean? Throw a little extra into there.
Preseason betting is just it's too much for me.
But you got to add a little something on top.
Yeah.
It's like that guy eating the vegetables. You slop it all with chocolate sauce.
That's exactly how it works, yeah. All right, Dave Naylor is going to join us over the phone today, and brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. They are now allowed to sell that Heritage Classic merch. Jerseys are now on the site and available in-store, and then the kids' jerseys and the headwear and the memorabilia and all that stuff will be coming soon. Pro-Am Sports on St. Albert Trail, 1 block north of the Yellowhead, and online at proamsports.ca. And like I said, they are opened at 8 o'clock today, so they can get that nice push. People are going to be rolling into work today with the new jersey on.
That's how you do it.
Everybody's going to be excited
that's the
about
play,
that. Yeah, let's catch up with Naylor. Naylor, good morning. How you doing, man?
Stop it.
Oh, hang on a sec.
He's underwater.
Dave, are you there? Hello.
I am challenges this morning, but I am here. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you sound good. Don't move. Don't move. We want to talk about a few different things. You know, one of the things we had some fun with earlier in the week with this Kelsey Taylor Swift thing, we said what would be the all-time CFL equivalent to Kelsey and Taylor Swift, and what was our best one? Lou Paseglia and Shania Twain.
Oh yeah,
I thought that would be a
was
pretty
very
good one.
apt, yeah.
Dave, does anything jump off the page for you on the history of the CFL that would have moved the needle like Kelsey and Swift?
I'm trying to think. There was one. Wasn't there one that Three Down Nation was all writing about a few years ago? Wasn't it Eugenie Bouchard and Greg Ellington? Wasn't that one?
Really?
I got time.
Yeah, we got time for that.
I don't want to start a rumor here, but I believe she was at an Argo game, and people thought that was a little curious, and I believe that was the connection. Now, I may be totally wrong starting rumors here, but I'm just going from, like, as you guys may know, that's not the end of the CFL reporting that I specialize in. And by the way, I can't make this up. I'm sitting in my car outside Orchard Park, New York, and there's a guy with a leaf blower blowing it at my car. So if you can hear that, you hear that? You just fired it up there.
We can hear that.
Like I'm not making this up. I'm like I can see Highmark Stadium from the car, and I'm just sitting here killing time talking to you guys. And a guy approaches my car with a leaf blower.
So, are you parked in a field?
I'm actually in a Tim Hortons parking lot. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Imagine that.
That's good to know.
And adjacent from the giant hole that is being built to house the Bills in 2026. You know, there's a giant crater right across from where Highmark Stadium is right now. So that's where I am roughly.
Sounds like how their playoffs may go again. Hey, a giant crater. Well, maybe
too soon.
There you go. Anyway, so that Ellington Bouchard thing. I am not signing off on that one. I read that one.
I do see an article about her being there October 5th, 2017 from 3 Down. So.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe that's a clue. We didn't even have one Jeannie Bouchard reference when we were talking about that earlier in the week.
Yeah.
So yeah,
how the mighty have fallen.
That's a nice pull. Yeah. Speaking of the Argos, I mean, they're in a pretty good spot here. They're resting guys already. This huge game between the Argos and Bombers that we were all really looking forward to is kind of taking a hit here without Chad Kelly, who's definitely in the MOP conversation. Actually, I wonder how this impacts his MOP conversation down the stretch if they're going to rest him. But I mean, you can't really blame the Argos in this situation, can you, Dave?
No, not at all. And in fact, I think in the contract that they did with him, that they announced for 2024 and beyond, they took out all the incentive stuff for 2023 and replaced it with guaranteed stuff because they knew they were going to be sitting him, right? And they didn't want to be punishing him for not being able to hit some of his targets for salary because they sat him down because they've had such a successful year. But look, I think there's probably a few things that play into this because I would be untruthful if I didn't say there was a fair amount of disappointment, among fans and the media. I got to be honest. As a media member, I want to see the Bombers play the Argos head to head. And yet at the same time, I get it. Like, one, you earn the right, but part of it is also like the Argos are trying to build a fan base, right? And if you look at it, they played Chad Kelly last week at home. Okay, I bet they're going to play him next week at home, which October 6th happens to be a very special date for the Argonauts. They're celebrating their 150th anniversary game. All kinds of special guests being invited to that game. I don't think they want Cameron Dukes as the starter. So I think it gets into kind of, okay, you didn't sit him out last week because you had a home game. there's no way you're gonna sit him for that October 6th game. So now you start to get into, well, you don't want him sitting. They've said they want to sit him 2 games. So they don't want to sit him 2 of the last 3, because with the bye week for the first week of the playoffs, then he's not playing 3 out of 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So no one has told me it has everything to do with this October 6th game, but I would bet that is they're basically managing the calendar here and trying to accommodate, I think, their home fans, which I get, as much as we're all disappointed we're not going to see this game. It did get me thinking, guys. I've never been a one division guy. Dwayne Ford, that's been his hobby horse that he's been on forever. Like, does have one division. But I got thinking about this. If we did have one division, it makes it a lot harder for games to become meaningless. And I don't mind a couple of meaningless games at the end of the season.
It's going to happen.
That happens.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Yeah. But this is a third of the darn schedule. like an 18-game schedule, 6 of them are meaningless for the Argonauts. So this has kind of got me rethinking the whole no one division thing, because, of course, if we were in one division, we'd still have a chase between the Bombers and the Lions and such and all that. So count me as a maybe on the one division just because of this Argo experience.
I guess just, Dave, going down the schedule here, the second half of the doubleheader on Friday out in BC, and we talked a couple weeks back, Ottawa traveling cross-country, going into BC, and basically every team going there with the time, but especially from out east, it's going to be tough. And Ottawa took them to the limit. BC, 10-4 sitting there. Saskatchewan's been a bit of a free fall. How do you see this one shaking out in kind of an early playoff preview?
Well, I think Saskatchewan's trying to reverse the trend here. 3 games in a row, they get buried in Winnipeg. They give up 16 points in the fourth quarter and don't score any the next week against Edmonton. And then last week, not to take away anything from Ottawa, because Lord knows they've had a few games they should have won this year, but that's one that just blew up on Saskatchewan. I mean, it's basically penalties and turnovers. I mean, they're controlling that game till about 3 minutes left at halftime. And I think that, the thing that, and you saw Craig Dickens' comments about, hey, this isn't last year's team, stick with us. I think it's because of, again, the kind of thing that when you have a loss that's basically, there's 2 ways to lose in football. The other team beats you, and then there's you beat yourself. And I would put Saskatchewan's last game into the they beat themselves category with the turnovers and the penalties. And that starts to look like a team losing focus. And I think that's kind of the trend right now in Saskatchewan is what's freaking everybody out, because it's starting to remind everybody a little bit of last year, where they were in it for a while. And then once you got into September and October, it just started to get away from them. I think given the quarterback injury and who they're playing and some of the changes they've had to make, injuries, they've had a receiver for earlier part of the year. I think this team's probably about what you would expect. Now, the Lions are the weird one, because there's 2 teams in this league that have a very, very high variance in terms of what you may see on every given week. One of them is Hamilton, and the other one is BC. And you can look at, even just the way their season is split. The first 5-6 weeks of the season, we're talking about this as an historic defense, right? Like they're going to be compared to some of the great defenses in CFL history, back-to-back shutouts against Edmonton, keeping other teams locked down. Well, since the second shutout of Edmonton, I believe they went into last week having allowed 31 points a game since, and they gave up 27 or something last week to the Elks. So it's this historic defense has not been very historic the last 2 months. So the shines come off the defense a little bit. Vernon Adams is still a great player. He's struggling with interceptions a little bit. That's come off and on this season. So look, I feel like this is one that BC should win, but as I say, as a very high variance team, I don't bet on CFL games, but if I did, I'd be pretty scared to bet on the Lions, just because sometimes you don't know what you're getting.
As always, Naylor, really appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, take care, guys. See you later. I'm going to go find the leaf blower. See ya.
Yeah, go do that. That's Dave Naylor with TSN Football Insider, CFL, and NFL. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, with the doors opened early today, 8 o'clock, with the new Heritage Classic merch. The jerseys are now on site, on the website, and available in store. And then they got the kids' jerseys and the hats and the memorabilia all coming as well. Pro-Am Sports, your official sports memorabilia partner of Edmonton Sports Talk, and Pro-Am time, we'll be on board with all of our hockey insiders, which are scheduled to begin next week. We've already locked in Jamie McLennan. He'll be joining us on Wednesdays. Just got a text this morning. Craig Button is in, so Craig Button will be joining us on Tuesdays. Mike Johnson, who has emerged as a star in this country, excellent broadcaster. He's going to be joining us on Fridays, and we still got a couple spots we're working on locking in if you have any suggestions. So we got Button, we got Noodles, we got MJ, a couple of spots still there. Some texts are out
who
to
do
some
you
certain
wanna hear?
people. Yeah, who do you want to hear once a week as a hockey insider and analyst right here on the Nielson Show? Hit us up in the Nasty Chatter at 780-218-9999. All right, we got the wrap for William Huff coming up, and Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power still on the way as well. Let's get to a quick update here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Yes, indeed. Oilers back in preseason action tonight. They host the Canucks. Tom Gazzola will have more on tonight's lineup and roster following the morning skate and later today on the Oil Stream. The Jays and Yankees will play Game 2 of a 3-game set from Toronto later tonight. Jays dropping the opener 2-0 last night. Elsewhere, Astros are in Seattle tonight to play the rubber match of that 3-game series. Phillies last night clinching a postseason berth. They defeat the Pirates 3-2. Canada's women's soccer team, they're back to the Olympics. Canada knocking off Jamaica 2-1 last night, 4-1 on aggregate. They'll be back in the 12-country tournament for the 2024 Paris Games.
Two guys and a goalie.
Babcock's gone. The Blue Jackets had an availability. They made a major mistake. Cash, your thoughts on how this looks on that organization?
Out of all the hires, this is the one that we felt was going to make us the best. Quite clearly, it was not.
It's just a weird kind of thing to do, to ask someone to look at their phone and the pictures on their phone. If you think by seeing a photo you're going to learn a lot about a person, then follow them on social media. I'm sure if Mike Babcock requested to follow a few members of his Columbus Blue Jackets, what he did was wrong. He hasn't changed a bit.
Two guys and a goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielsen. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey. Saturday mornings at 10. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for the Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Hernan Salas in the house. Gotta love it. Looks like he brought some donuts for the boys, too.
Oh, right on.
God, what a clutch move. Hernan's here 3 days in a row. I feel like he pops in tomorrow just to visit, too.
He's already brought more stuff than
He's
Tom.
meeting YouTube Trev, who's here today, too. There's a lot on the go right now. We got the wrap for William Huff coming up. I love this. There are people in the nasty chat right now. Mitchie63 says, I just bought my husband a Heritage Classic jersey from Pro-Am. Thanks for the info. Go, Jays. Boom. Advertising works. Double E. Thanks for the heads up on the jerseys. I just ordered a Nuge Heritage Classic off Pro-Am. Super easy. Free shipping. Hello.
Here we go.
This is great. This is great stuff. I love it. They opened up early today, so if you're looking for the Heritage Classic gear, you can definitely get that. We've got coming up the wrap for William Huff, text of the day, sound of the day, all is still to come. We announced this yesterday. We're excited about it. They'll officially hop on a bunch of different things next week, but we told them we'd give them some love here this week as well. The weekly rankings of power for United Sport and Cycle. Hopping on board here with Edmonton Sports Talk as well. Huge thanks to the crew over there. We're going to have some gift certificates we're going to be giving away with a segment we're going to call the Local Spin, which ties in nicely to their ties to the community and the spinning and cycle and the bikes and all that fun stuff. Right now, though, they got a great deal on the go. United Sport and Cycle's hockey days are on now. Buy a new pair of skates and receive a free blade profile. That runs up until October 15th. It started just a couple of days ago. United Sport and Cycle's hockey days are on now. Buy a new pair of skates and receive a free blade profile up until October 15th. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power, buddy. What are you ranking today? Power.
You always say that when we get into the snap.
I always like to write these down, right? Follow along.
Okay, so this is, and I kind of said to you off air here, like weekly rankings of power. Do we maybe want to, now that it's all new, maybe we do power rankings weekly or rankings of power weekly? The
weekly power rankings?
Weekly rankings of power.
It just sounds
the
nice,
acronym, the ROP, right? Like
we've taken some stuff from the old show. We're going to add in, like, nobody over there would have ever approved I got beef.
Yeah.
And that's a new segment. Man, the Local Spin will be a new segment. We have lots of new stuff.
There are a lot of things that I couldn't rank before, right? But now we can do whatever we want. So this might open up the segment a bit. But you know what? It's edition 1 all over again. We did about 300 of them back at the old place.
Yes.
Weekly rankings of power, number 1 today, brought to you by United Sport and Cycle. We're going over Nielson Show beer names just because of, it's on the tip of our tongue.
Alley Cat today. We got a meeting today. It's going to be great.
So you said, well, maybe we'll whittle down to 5 here over the next couple of weeks. But I've had the initial 10 here that people have suggested. Text line, nasty chat, internet, and other places.
This is good.
Number 10, the nasty beer. Nasty beer. Nasty beer. Just nasty
Toss me
beer.
a 4-pack of the nasty beer. Okay, number 9.
Or nasty
number
beer.
9.
Like, number 9?
Yeah.
The Columbus Blue Jackets. Hey.
Because they were number 9 on the other list. That's funny, buddy. Well played. If you missed it, we went at it with Wyshynski. We didn't go at it with Wyshynski, but a good discussion with Wyshynski today.
Whole,
ESPN, you're dead to us. Except for Wyshynski, who joins us weekly. All right, number 8.
The 6 o'clocker. Or the 6 o'clock lager, whatever play on words would you prefer that? The 6 o'clocker thing is nice. It's the 6. I
the
like
6 o'clocker lager has a nice ring to it.
I still like the 6 o'clock.
The 6 o'clocker.
You could have a pair of clogs on the. I don't know for some reason.
I don't know if that's what we're going with.
I don't know. We're off. It's only 8. That's the thing.
All right, number 7.
The Swifty lager to get that Taylor Swift buzz. You know,
all right, number 6.
I mean, imagine our reach with that.
Imagine that if we, they could tie it in and like. Suck her into
we could sell off tomorrow. Like it'd be great. Yeah,
we should just start photoshopping photos of YouTube Trev and Taylor Swift together, and be like, "Is Taylor Swift cheating on Travis Kelsey with YouTube Trev, who may or may not have had mono over the weekend?"
Put him on top of the Majot picture, eh? with the hair. He's still good there.
Number 6,
Nasty Cat. That comes in from Ryan Kenny on Twitter.
Nasty Cat.
It incorporates nasty, and then the Apricat, like you love from the Alley
Nasty
Cat.
I thought it was back to the realtor discussion where realtors call each other cats.
Well, see that. Okay, there you go. You can play that. You put Damon Bunting's face on there, and then you have the Nasty Cat because it's the Alley Cat, and it's all. Everybody gets a scratch. Yeah.
All right, number 4. Number 5.
Papa Smurf off Twitter. Brew, do you think you are? I am.
Brew, do you think you are? I am. That's hilarious, but it's too long.
I know.
Oh, man, you know what one of my favorite loggers is right now? The Brew, do you think you are? I am.
I am.
From Pete Weber. Yeah, but how does Pete Weber not have that beer yet? Somebody tell Pete Weber to do that beer. Brew, do you think you are? I am. That's good. Number 4.
AM Nasty United SC Lager. Now, the United Sport and Cycle, the SC Sport and Cycle. It's also got a soccer. It keeps Matt happy with the Manchester United. You can incorporate Manchester United into the beer. I don't know. I'm trying to bring you into this as well. AM Nasty United SC Lager, giving the sponsorship some love. It's number 4. It's not number 1. Probably won't get selected, so we can move on to number 3.
All right, number 3.
Conch Lager.
Conch Lager.
Conch Lager.
Conch Lager. Conch me.
And just say it. Conch Lager.
Conch Lager.
Conch Lager.
It almost sounds like a German beer.
It sounds like Goldschlager.
Conch
Lager.
Lager.
Yeah. Conch Lager.
Conch Lager. Okay, number 2.
And as you go on and have a couple, you're even slurring it more.
Another Conch Lager.
What? Number 2, the What Say Brew.
The What Say Brew.
Jordan Patswald on Twitter, a genius there with that one. That's number 2.
What Say Brew strong. Okay, so What Say Brew is number 2. What's number 1?
The number 1 in terms of Nielsen Show beer name titles, Clear Choice Lager.
Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Clear Choice Lager, though. That's what you want in a
Clear
lager.
Choice Lager,
a nice clear, and it's Clear Choice.
Yeah, there's
Clear Choice.
There's a few pretty good options in there, and it's all brought to you by United Sport and Cycle. Hockey days on now. New pair of skates. You'll go get a new pair of skates. Free blade profile, which sounds like super fancy, but it's actually just a way to make sure you're skating well in those skates. They take care of you down there. That'll be all part of Hockey Days on the go right now up until October 15th. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. Lieutenant Eric, what'd you learn on the show today, buddy?
What did we learn on the show today? Well, we learned that Dave Naylor will be down in Buffalo covering that Bills-Dolphins game. I kind of think it's kind of, I mean, a big game, and I get it, but he's down there, and somebody's blowing leaves into his car.
That was strange.
It was all very strange. But yeah, other than that, I mean, you're kind of, we've been learning that ESPN list kind of took off.
But Wyshynski told us that he thinks the others should have been higher on that list.
Yeah, and that's
smart move, Wish.
But that's always Wyshynski. You know, ESPN puts something out, everybody's like, "Oh, what an idiot!" And then he comes in on here after the fact, and by that time, nobody's listening to him anymore, right? Like it's kind of like he's past the point of defense. But I mean, that list, look, it's. And he said it's not clickbait. It is the definition of clickbait. It's so good for hockey fans, especially pissing off the ones that are so serious about it up here. It's great play by them.
There was a couple replies last night.
And the Blue Jackets are number 9.
Blue Jackets made number 9 on that list. I thought I saved the tweet because there were a few replies to Wyshynski, and maybe this is the one. There's a few on there where he just gets absolutely raked over the coals, and there were some hilarious ones in there. So, yeah. But he came on here and he said he thought Edmonton should be higher on the list.
Yeah, that's his words, yeah.
We learned that I'm getting swindled. I'm getting swindled on my vehicle right now. The place I took it to get looked at and a diagnostic check, 2 diagnostic checks. I don't know why 1 diagnostic check wouldn't do the whole vehicle, but 2 diagnostic checks. And they've quoted me at $11,000 to fix my Ford Explorer. But at the same time, one of their sales guys has offered me $6,000 for the vehicle.
Look, you dished out free advice today. Did you get any advice on that front that could get? Did you see anything in there? I think everybody had their own theory and thought to it, but
the real frustrating part is that I'm too damn busy to actually get this stuff dealt with.
Yeah.
So,
and as HR Daddy did say earlier too, it is almost of your doing.
Enough
it
with
here.
HR Daddy. HR Daddy sold me a lemon 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, or whatever it is, and it's basically been a money pit for me. So thanks. And now I have to go through this process again. Right, so it's extremely frustrating. But why are they offering to buy my vehicle for $6,000 if they say it needs $11,000 worth of work? How much are they going to sell it for? I'm not paying $11,000 to keep my Ford Explorer when I just pumped $4,000 into it, like at the beginning of the summer. So
you got to get that thing out to Wills. That's the whole.
You know what I believe? I believe. Not all dealerships, but I think some dealerships, when they fix one thing in your vehicle, they set something else up to go in about 2 months. And then you go back and you get screwed again.
Oopsie. Cut that thing.
Right. This sucker will be back. I feel like if I was a dealership, I'd probably do the same thing too. But it's just so damn greasy. So I don't know. I'm hoping that, like, I want a truck by Friday. Like, I'm not even messing around anymore. I'm not even messing around. That's it.
Get this man a truck then. Text
It's
780-218-9999.
That's time. It would take my Explorer off my hands, put me in a truck.
Oh, just a good old swap,
Marshall
eh?
doesn't want a truck. Marshall's already saying, he goes,
Why?
I don't really want a truck, Daddy. I said, why don't you want a truck? He goes, well, I was in one time. I said, okay. And he goes, it was different. So he's been in a truck one time. He doesn't want me to
You
get
go
one.
the neighborhood cruise in the box there, That's fun.
There's lots
Everybody
of fun
loves
stuff.
that. Yeah,
I'd let him sit in the back and run around the cul-de-sac.
He don't know what he's missing. Yeah.
It'd be a real big deal for him, but I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. Let's see. Text of the day today. We'll get to. I don't even know if we have a sound of the day. It's been such a jam-packed show. We haven't really been beating anything to death over there. Text of the day today for A&W, $20 gift card to A&W. There's a couple here. We had, I think it's that one Macramalla that's actually going to get the job done.
The orgy?
Yeah. That was a pretty good one, right? Mandate John, congratulations, buddy. You have won text of the day. EST legal analyst and guy who didn't have a single person show up to his orgy, but went ahead with it anyway. Eric Macramala. Mandate John, text of the day today. You'll be able to swing by here and pick up that $20 gift card to A&W, where until the end of the month, lattes are on for $2.
Buck for a coffee.
And it's any size. So, yeah, I mean, you did really good for $1 because I paid
look at
$2
that.
for my
That's
latte.
value, baby.
And look at the difference in sizes there, right? So that's a little bit different. What's coming up on the Hangout today, buddy?
Evan Jones and Hernan Salas from the Edmonton Elks. Eric's going to pop in for an hour as well, and then 10 o'clock, a scout from the Elks Call, which is a friend of EST.
Yes, it is.
So
we'll have a chili winner, hey? We had,
I think they're announcing that on their show this week.
Okay, so.
And then with Hernan and Evan, there's a lot to discuss, including some hockey with the boys.
Oh, lots getting on then. And that's you know what? Do you think Evan Dom doesn't like us anymore?
He's out of town.
Man,
he's out of town.
I don't know, but he hasn't even popped by once to be like, "Hey, boys, look at what you're building." Like,
that's a good point.
My feelings have been hurt by Evan Dom, who I worked with at the Golden Bears for like 8 years.
He doesn't need an invite, right?
In defense of Dahmer.
Don't you defend Dahmer right now?
He has allowed Hernan to come here 3 days in a row.
Allowed Hernan? Wow. This is how Hernan's life is now? He's allowed to?
He's allowed EJ to come onto the Hangout.
Yeah.
And he's allowed Trey Ford, Gavin Kopp, and Dean Faithful all to pop by the last couple
Hernan,
days.
did Dahmer allow you to bring those donuts to us today?
No.
No, he did it on his own. Hernan's his own man. So anyway, Dahmer, you're hurting our feelings by not being by yet.
I'm trying to defend you, Dahmer. Yeah. You got to stop by now.
Allow yourself to come by here.
Lock Shop at 11, Oil Stream at noon. Tommy should have the latest on what's going on at the rink this morning as it gets set up. If they lose tonight, is it time to fire Jeff Jackson?
This morning after show will be wild tomorrow, Haver.
Jeff Jackson cannot deliver a win to save his life right now. I want Jeff Jackson in here Dean Faithful style for an interview. We're just, talk about teas and coffees.
A chat.
That would be pretty
chat,
good.
yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Hangouts coming up. Lock Shop at 11 with myself and Huss, and then the Oil Stream at noon today. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Make sure your autoplay is turned on right now. We will redirect you over to the Hangout. You don't have to do anything. If for some reason your autoplay is not on, a little window will pop up and say, want to watch the Hangout? You just click that. You stick around. Of course, you can always listen at edmontonsportstalk.com on the live feed. For Matthew Awanek and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. Thank you very much for listening.